love the flow. 69, now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big, fat love, find common ground, to halt the spread of lies. And we must do it big, fat love, find common ground, to halt the spread of lies. And any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first, to lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow. 69. Now it's time for new, believable people, and we must do it. If we don't control insiders, this will be over and over. To lead by an any big, fat love, find common ground, to halt the spread of lies. And we must do it big, fat love, find common ground, to halt the spread of lies. And any America first, America first, non-fatal. We want to build a much better, believable people, and we must do it non-fatal. Communication very much higher. America first, to lead by an any insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. More of insiders fighting for insiders. Time to stop. Insiders fighting for insiders. America first. Love the flow.
We are standing by, hope do love that opener. I love that little beginning bumper that the Britisher was so kind to make me. I hope y'all can hear me. I've got to do a lot of switching between the music, I think, as everybody knows. There's I'm gonna keep calling you Zero Cool. I don't care what it says.
Okay, do I sound all right?
You sound phenomenal, brother. I tried to get Harrow in here.
It's fine. Whatever. It happens.
He'll swing by, just apparently not today. And I am going to send this link out to Razorfist. It's rolling the dice, man. I'm not going to, delude myself, but you never know. Never know. It's a Sunday. Dude, man might see it, see the title, come by and listen for a second, swing by.
I have been wanting to be in a live chat with Razorfist for the longest time because I love his work, and I think some of the stuff he says is really good, and some of the stuff, while I don't agree with it, still has merit and value to me because it's something that gives me something to think about. And I think that's the biggest problem is people don't do that these days.
Yeah, well, I agree. And he should be on this next month. We'll see. We can't do about lining you up to see at the table. Of all the people I know, with all respect to everybody else, but of all the people I know that aren't, regular members of our little 3-man crew, you would be the one I would want to be there. You're the only other person I know that has the same kind of knowledge about, folklore, I guess you could say, comic books, movies, all of that shit. He's like you, man. He's like a fucking encyclopedia that way.
Well, I would like to think that he actually does his research as much as I do. I watch a lot of different YouTube channels about comics, and I read a lot of Wikipedias. And honestly, I just stopped buying comic books, but it is what it is. I think the biggest thing is what we were talking about on Twitter is people seem to forget in regards to almost everything these days. There is the capability of choice. Now, sometimes you only get 2 options, but you're still presented with a third that you just don't think about. I'll put it very bluntly. Most Americans know that the big 2 soda companies, or pop, depending where you want to be from, are Coca-Cola and Pepsi-Cola. Okay, so you're at your store, and you're seeing the 2 main brands with their different variants of flavors or sub-flavors or whatever. And I believe 7-Up and Dr. Pepper do fall into these 2 categories these days. I won't say yes or no. But you have the choice of buying between a Pepsi-Cola product and a Coca-Cola product. Well, the third choice that you're not thinking about is not buying any one of them. And that's very much about comic books these days. I've been hearing this crap for the past year and a half, and now it's coming to full fruition to where Marvel and DC, they're pulling the same crap. And I think, this social justice warrior rhetoric to where they feel that messages aren't being heard, characters aren't being seen or given validation or storylines or whatever. And since they're never going to hear this, that's too bad, because maybe some of those people that are doing this shit, maybe they need to go back and see what happened in the 1990s when the entire market almost tanked itself permanently. In fact, if it had, I guarantee the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe wouldn't be in existence, the DC Cinematic Universe, or it's actually, for the about 99% better animated universe wouldn't be in existence, because everything would be gone. And that these people that are doing these things in their companies, because let's face it, they got their jobs by engaging in the acts of cronyism and nepotism. They didn't actually earn anything. Somebody put in a good word for them, or somebody knew somebody, whatever. That's how they got their jobs. And they think that everything that they say is law. Well, like I said on Twitter, we have over 75 years worth of comic book history from various genres, characters, and companies to read, to like. Stuff from the dark to the silly, to the excitable, to the mundane. And people are sniping like they're fighting like rabid dogs over all the crap that's going on these days. To you out there, go find places that have digital downloads of old comics and read them. Don't even bother wasting your time or money with any modern comic book if you don't like it. And this is something that's happened before, and it's happening now, and it'll go away within a few years, and then within a decade or 15 years' time, something new will be on the horizon, and it'll reset the cycle. This shit happens. The last time it happened was in the 1990s. And until we actually are asked questions or have a focus, that's pretty much all I got to say about that for right now.
But it's just funny. I don't know if it was just my imagination, but when Mad Dodge Production filed in here and he just popped up, I thought maybe you thought it was Razor because you just like caught your breath for a second and looked down. But no, we got Mad Dodge Production. I think you know him. He's an excellent addition to any
this guy. Oh, this guy.
Good addition to any stream
Dodge.
Covering movies and comics and whatnot.
I hate you, Mad Dodge. You are a pain in my ass. But not really. How you doing, buddy?
Taxation is stuffed. Now that that's out of the way.
It's been a while. How you been?
I'm pretty good. You know, everybody, when they talk about comics, it's always Marvel and DC. What about the ones that are doing good right now, like the Walking Dead comic books and other graphic novels and stuff like that?
That's actually a very good point. I believe Walking Dead is still under Image, or it's under Skybound. But I think the biggest issue is that Marvel and DC are so well known by the public conscience that they're the primary focus of most topics. And it's not because any other comic, and I'm glad you brought that up, it's not because any other comic book company doesn't have characters that are lovable. It's just they are not being well publicized enough or given enough word of mouth. There are a lot of comics. Like I said, we have over 75 plus years of comics that we can go through from various companies, various genres, and everything that I've said before. And it's the independent comics that aren't getting their their credit. And it's because they don't have the money that those two companies have to do so. That's the key element, at least in my humble opinion.
Well, I remember when you opened up a comic book, and man, I love pulp novels, Robert E. Howard, H.P. Lovecraft. I mean, you name it. And I just remember it was still around in the 80s when you opened up, like when you cracked a book like this, a comic book like this, Thor comic book, which I believe was put out in 1976, you can still smell it. You can still smell the smell of a comic book store, that dank, pulpy paper smell. The paper turns yellow pretty quickly. And I don't know. They have not only taken it and made it this weird platform, which it always was. I mean, comic books were always something that would uphold the best in mankind to a superhuman level. But now they've taken this great genre, and not only have they taken the cool smell and old school paper away, but they've also made it this political statement. And man,
that's a matter of the laws of physics, Ogre. They changed the paper. That's all they did. That's why your comics don't smell as good. They're actually made of different material these days in regards to a book. And I don't know about anybody else, but $3 to $4 for a comic book that has a 25 to 75% ratio of story to ads is not worth my money.
No, this one was 30 cents back in the day.
No, I'm talking about modern comic books.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying, and
in their actual physical format, because
it wasn't like paying $3 either. This was like paying.
Well, the 30 cents back then was the $3.
Might have been like paying $1. I'm not going to say it wasn't worth more than 30. Obviously, in 1976, I think I did say whatever.
But that's one of the things that I commented on Twitter was this. This lady made some kind of comment about the publishers and the big wigs making more money than the average artist or whatever, and this pay scale ratio and all this other crap. And I said, well, that's inflation for you. Welcome to life. And she kind of got pissy and blocked me. It's kind of like, you know what? You're very immature that you can't handle a simple comment stating a relevant fact. I've been alive for 42 years, and I've seen prices of things go up. I've seen prices of things go down. I've seen items that were once in popular demand go by the wayside because that's the way things change. Now, comic books, comic strips, graphic novels, or trade paperbacks, as we used to call them, are really a genuinely last American invention. Don't get me wrong, there were other countries that had stories being told on papyrus paper and scrolls and everything else, but Americans, and we're not talking white people, we're not talking black people, we're talking actual American citizens, we're the ones that said, hey, you know, we've got a newspaper here, we've got this blank space, let's just throw in 3 to 4 panels. And then that took off with the comic strip and newspapers, like the Chicago Tribune, so on and so forth. And then they said, hey, let's make some more money by putting these 4 panels, plus 4 more panels, plus 4 more panels, which became the first comic book page, into a comic book and tell a story. That's what they did. And that comic strips have kind of gone the way of the dinosaurs. Comic books are going the way of the dinosaurs, in at least the physical format, to digital. But it's the general idea that was once what was popular, goes by the wayside, and then becomes retro or classic, and then becomes popular again in another way. That's just the circle of life.
Well, I kind of agree with you, but nowadays if I buy any comics, I buy the trades. So I wait until a whole trade of The Walking Dead comes out and I buy it. So it's like a collection of the whole year's worth of comic books. And then and
that's what they do. They slam on the $3 to $4 price for the individual book. That way they can make the trade paperback come out and sell it for cheaper in the long run. And people do like to have their collections, Mad Dodge, and that's a good thing. I don't blame you whatsoever. I think most people would prefer the trade paperback format because they're like, well, you know, I don't want to pay X amount of dollars, or I don't have time to get a book, or if I miss an issue, then I'm going between this and this and this and that, and it just is what it is. And people are not able to get their hands on the older stuff from the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, which they do in reprints, and that's a good thing. So it's not a bad thing that you personally or a lot of other people buy the trade paperback / graphic novels, because not everybody is either a hardcore reader or has the time to follow. And the people that were once kids are now adults, and their kids, they're doing other things too. So that's actually a very good way for everybody to say, oh, this is a good way for us to make money, and people can still get their comic fix without having to hunt down every single issue.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the industry needs to pivot, because if you look at what's popular, it's the adult graphic novels. It's like, the Walking Dead. It's like George R. R. Martin's Dunk and Egg, stuff off of Song of Ice and Fire. So if the industry itself pivoted away from children, they would make a lot more money, I think.
Well, see, that's why they won't do it. They know that you, the parents, will buy the comics that are aimed at kids just to shut your kid up. And I'm not referring to you and your child, but it's that mentality. That's why they pander to children. They don't want to pander to adults. And they haven't really pandered to adults for a long time. That's just the way it is. But I'll reiterate my earlier statement. There are different types of stories, different genres for everybody. And there are the ones, and while they initially bank on the children bitching at their parents to buy them stuff, which parents will get irritated and annoyed, and they'll cave in and do it whether they like it or not, there's still stuff out there for the adults. And it's always been that way. In fact, I think what a lot of these modern publishers seem to forget, that before the comic strip, there was the cartoon, and it was aimed at adults. And I can't prove that comic strips were, influenced by cartoons, but it's the mentality of, we're writing a story here. Our primary audience is for the people who will buy our newspapers, which are adults. And then only later on did Disney, amongst other people, say we're making stuff for kids so we can get the money from the parents through the kids, and the comics mimics suit. And that's also the same way for the music industry. Music has always been music for being the sake of music, and there's always been genres and different artists and bands that do stuff for adults and they do stuff for kids, and it rotates in perpetuity, and that's the way it's always going to be.
Yeah, good points. I'm gonna let you boys roll with this, man. I'll jump in from now and then, but you know, comic books and whatnot is not my forte.
Yeah, but he was just talking about music, and you have up NWA. Did you listen to them a lot? I did. I'm on the West Coast, so I grew up listening to NWA, Tupac,
jamming them right now.
Nice.
Well, and besides comics, it's all about. But the main topic of today is choice. I'm gonna make this little. Comparison. I was just watching The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, and I had seen Spider-Man Homecoming, and I remembered that in the 1990s, Blade being one of the better comic book adaptations from the long silence that was between Christopher Reeve's Superman and Michael Keaton Batman and that other crap in the 90s that really is garbage. That was actually one of the darker storytellings of a comic book character in a movie. So then there seemed to be a whole gaggle of crap comic-based movies, and it really, to me, wasn't until Tobey Maguire did Spider-Man. They had Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, and yeah, we know the third one really was kind of bad. It should have focused more on Sandman and leave Venom out of it, but again, Sony being who they are, touching stuff. So I'm watching. So I watch the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I thought, well, you know, looking back, it's good in some ways, it's bad in some ways, and I like it for the reason I like it. And then I'll watch the Andrew Garfield stuff, and it's like, well, you know, I kind of like Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone as, you know, Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy, and there's a chemistry there. And again, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was kind of shadowed, you know, Spider-Man 3, where there was too much focus on too many villains and other shit all going on at once when they should have focused on one. Now, what Homecoming did was, and I actually detest Homecoming quite a bit. This is where the full SJW crap comes in. I thought Spider-Man was fine. I thought Peter Parker was fine. I like that they have that in with the Marvel Universe. But what I don't like is how they unnecessarily change the characters. The secondary characters like Flash Thompson and so on and so forth. And everybody's like, oh, you know, and I'm going to tell you, anybody that listens to this right now, if the first thing you can say to me is that I'm a racist, you're talking to the wrong guy. I'm from Generation X. We don't care. And that plays a lot into why you people out there get bent out of shape, because you run into a person who genuinely does not care, and you can't handle it. So while I do think that there are not important, but I think there are really good aspects in Spider-Man Homecoming, I think they are unfortunately overshadowed by hype in correlation to being, oh, Spider-Man's back in the Marvel Universe. And that's it. It has a weak storyline. There's nothing original about it, but they've got a few good actors. They've got. So
you just tell. I mean, what I'm getting from this is you just don't like the new release of Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man, and whatnot, with the English boy.
No, I think he's fine. I think, in fact, I liked what they did with Vulture. I like Michael Keaton as the Vulture. But what I don't like is all the secondary background stuff. It's messed up. There's too much. There's too much social justice warrior influence in it. And for everybody out there that complained about Emma Stone being Gwen Stacy, if you're complaining because you don't think that the movies with her and Andrew Garfield were good, that's fine. That's your particular view. You're allowed to have it. If you're complaining because you like Spider-Man with Mary Jane, go back to the 1960s and 70s, read your damn comic books, and learn
Mary Jane come after. She was the girl next door.
Gwen Stacy came first.
First, that was his girlfriend. Yeah, I mean, I thought everybody that liked Spider-Man knew that when the first Spider-Mans came out with, you know, the jockey dude there, the horse jockey guy. What the hell's his name? Why can't I think of it? You know, the original Spider-Man from the. Anyway, I mean, I thought everybody knew that. Yeah. If you kept reading Spider-Man, Mary Jane was put in here, the red-haired girl next door, but it was Gwen Stacy, the blonde-haired girl. You know, she was the one. I mean, if you read the comic, you were kind of disappointed when the first Spider-Man came out here with I can't think of anything now with who fucking directed the first reboot of Spider-Man here?
Sam Raimi.
Yes, yeah, with Sam Raimi directing it. Thank you. I can't remember nothing. I can't remember damn Spider-Man's name in it right now. You know, the horse jockey kid. Anyway, I was disappointed.
Maguire, and that was Seabiscuit.
Yeah, thank you, Maguire. And I'll tell you what, man. Disappointed don't cover it because you had some really good visuals for the time. You know, great. Everything, but the storyline, with all due respect to people that love that reboot, I didn't like it.
But again, that proves the concept of choice. Ogre doesn't like it. I like the first two for various reasons. That's just the way it is. I'm not telling Ogre that he has to like what I like, and he's not telling me, Zero, you don't have, you know, Dade, don't like what you like because my opinion's more valuable. That's the problem today with everything. And it is strictly a mentality issue of the current generations. There are baby boomers that think that it's the 1960s all over again. Well, if we're really going to get nasty about it, you guys help make this happen. There are people in my generation that they tried to relive the 1960s in the 1990s with Woodstock, the 1990s Woodstock. Yeah, people, we didn't... Come on, guys. We screwed up. Just admit to it and get on with our lives. And now they're raising these kids that are these millennials that, you know, they have what they have. And the problems with them is they have too much and they can't filter out what is good for them because they're being bombarded on all sides 24/7 with commercial ideology of basic garbage. And so then they feel ashamed or looked down upon because of peer pressure and social norms, which are bullcrap in the long run, about liking something that's older than them. And then you'll run across the kids that look at their contemporaries much like I did when I was their age, and I said, I don't relate to these people, and they suck. And that's just the way it is. So it's, again, going back to choice. You cannot like something about something, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't have some kind of value that you should take away from it. And when you consistently block people on Twitter, ban people on Facebook, or dox them or report them on YouTube, whatever, you are genuinely showing your ignorance about a situation. You have no capable knowledge. You have no knowledge. You basically don't have the capability of obtaining knowledge and wisdom through a secondary source other than that's not your own because you don't want to. I get people telling me to piss off all the time on Twitter, and I'm like, all right, fair enough, but it doesn't mean you're not entirely wrong. It doesn't mean you're not entirely right.
No, but it's kind of rare what you did with me there, especially as, with all respect, a comic book geek. I don't know what you call it, with the kind of the, you know, you're a up to, you just like all these movies and stuff, but it's kind of rare that somebody like yourself listens to me spout off about how I think about a movie and just say, well, you know, that's okay, Ogre, that you don't, because usually it's like, no, I'm the comic book guru. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. This is empirical science, not comic books. You have to like, you know, in the whole 9 yards.
And that's the kind of poisoning the poisoned mentality that kids have these days. I have friends that are horror movie fans. I don't like horror movies. I don't get it. I grew up with Jason and Freddy Krueger and all this other stuff, but my tastes have changed. And I've still got friends that love horror movies to this very day of all various types. And they'll say to me, hey, Dade, we're going to have a movie. You know, we're going to watch some movies. I said, are they horror movies? They go, yeah. I'm like, I'm good. And they're like, all right, that's cool. We just wanted to invite you anyway. All right, that's fine. Thanks.
I would have bet $50 that you loved horror movies, but that just shows you can't judge a book by its cover every time.
You know, and I'm not a horror movie fan. I think that our world produces enough of that and if I want to see that, I'll just turn on the legacy media news. So again, it's about choice. If, you know, Mad Dodge and I don't see eye to eye on something, that happens. He's not, you know, and we don't see you know, we don't agree on a lot of things, and that's just the way it is. But he's not telling me, hey, Dade, you have to like what I like. And that's the biggest issue. People are, you want to talk about a horror movie. John Carpenter did They Lived with Roddy Piper and David Keith. And people were like, oh, that's just a B-rated movie. It's very parallel to today's society.
I seen you tweeting that stuff out today, man. I was like, yeah, look at that.
I'm ripping on it. I'm ripping on everybody.
They live, we sleep. That is one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion. And
there are people that don't like it, but that's okay. But it's the general idea of our choices are more now than they ever have been, being restricted to where everybody, it's either this way or it's no way.
So I'm going to buckle you down a little bit. So when we talk about when we talk about boycotting DC and well, that would mean that the new movie's coming out. So you're fully on this idea that, you know, the new and improved Dr. Ock, you know, comes out or whatever, this new and improved movie. You're just, if it says Marvel or DC on it, you're not gonna go give me money.
I don't go to movies anymore in general. I don't believe that Hollywood, especially the actors, when they open their mouth degrading our country and its fellow countrymen, no matter what your political affiliation, you don't deserve my money. And if you find sources to illegally download a movie, yeah, whatever. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not held. You're not. You know, I don't hold you responsible because you're not me and I'm not you. You're going to do you and I'm going to do me. And they kind of, you know, like the record industry, they kind of did it to themselves. So I can't really feel bad for these people.
Well, you said it. They overprice their stuff so much that it makes you want to apologize for people borrowing their stuff online. I mean, kiss my ass.
Well, now, to be fair, there are independent, the music industry has changed, and we still do have choice. We have the best choice of all with the music industry. It is either to not listen to something or to listen to something. No matter, and they've been doing this shit since the days of the 1950s with payola. We're going to give you X amount of dollars to play our record, whether you know these people like it or not, and you're going to drill into their head, and they're going to go out and buy the stuff, and they're going to give us more money, and we're going to do the same thing with the next artist that we see fit. That shit has been going on for well over 60-some years. People, get over it.
Yeah, and I just got this from the chat, Zero and Mad Dodge. I'll go back to silent mode and listen some more until I got something feasible to pop in. But Will Fisher saying DC's not the, I can't laugh. I mean, I got to give everybody their opinion, but I would like to know y'all's opinion on this. DC is not the problem, Marvel is. So is it confined to Marvel? Does DC have any palpability in this SJW problem?
Yes.
I love the one-word answer, but go ahead and expound it. Go ahead, Mad Dodge.
I think it's both of them. That's why I was talking about The Walking Dead and all the graphic novels that are out there for adults. I think the industry itself should pivot to cater to adults because we're the ones reading still. Like, I will go to the comic book store and buy the trade of The Walking Dead. I buy my kids Superman, and I find it on the floor ripped up 10 minutes later. No, it's the adults watching this. So stop catering to the SJWs. Stop making little kid freaking eat your cereal and be good comic books and go to what works. Spawn, freaking A Song of Ice and Fire style.
Yeah, right. And there are those precocious kids that were like myself that was reading Robert E. Howard, you know, when I was 8, 9 years old, that will enjoy it too. But it's like you said, the vast majority for the longest time. I'm sorry, I just made you mute yourself. I really need to shut up. Because on this, I have some opinions, but most of mine are not from the standpoint of somebody with the knowledge you two have on this. Sorry about that, Mad Dog.
Oh, it's all good. It's your show, sir. No, I just
I really Zero show. I'm doing this because of Zero, and I'm just here to. Y'all are fucking the cat. I'm just blowing the fur out of the way.
I really think the pivot needs to be made if the industry is going to save itself. If you look at what's making money right now, it is the graphic novels. And Spawn was making a shit ton of money back in the 90s, right? Zero?
Yeah, Todd McFarlane, who himself has gotten in a buttload of trouble about things, but that's for another day. It wasn't because Spawn was mature audience type stuff. It was because America was at a turning point in the 1990s to where creators were getting screwed over, and they still do that to this day. And they have fixed some of it, but that's, again, another topic. But Todd McFarlane is a businessman, and he wanted to make his money his way, and he did. But where I disagree with you on this is we need both. We need the, kids eat your cereal, get 8 hours of sleep, exercise, grow up to be strong. And then we also need these stuff for adults. And it comes down to a person's personal responsibility. You have children that are a certain age. If you don't want them reading certain things, then it is your responsibility as the parent to say, hey, look, I know you want to read this, but give it a couple of years. In the meantime, read this because, and they're going to disagree with you, and that's just the way it's going to be. Children and parents have always collided up until the children have become adults themselves. We do need to have the stuff catered to children. We also need to have the stuff that caters to adults. But what we both agree on here, Mad Dodge, is that we don't need industries of any kind catering to one select group over the other. And that's where the biggest issue comes into play. And that, it restricts choice.
Yeah, no, and as I was growing up, I remember in the early 2000s, right when I was getting over comic books, I graduated in 03. So they had like the Dark Knight series of comic books, and it went a whole lot darker, and it was more edgy, but it was still for kids. And I really liked that, That was pretty cool.
I think one of the things that and I know that we harp on Marvel because they deserve to be harped on. They're leading the way of this bullshit. They're also the people that bent over when Frederick Wertham wrote his book back in the 50s, I believe, called 40s or 50s, called Seduction of the Innocents, where they basically said, and they do this crap now to where, if you play, X amount of video games or whatever, you're going to be a violent person. They said the same thing about comic books. And that's why they created the Comic Code Authority, and that's why we have the hilarity and often stupid and silliness of the Silver Age of comic books.
Well, I can actually speak to this. Dr. Rollins is a very good friend of mine that I met when I was taking psychology as my major a few years ago, quite a few years back. But yeah, he wrote a wonderful peer-reviewed paper on the effects of comic books, violent movies, and violent video games on one's empathy and desire to help. That has been so ridiculously debunked by great people like Dr. Rollins. In fact, if you typed in Dr. Rollins video games affecting helping and just type that in, I'm sure he'd come up. But anyway, it's been debunked, and I don't mean by some well-intentioned folks like us right now sitting around and talking about our opinions of what we think. But don't you know at base, gentlemen, that you don't watch Friday the 13th as we both did when we were young, even if we don't like it now, Zero, but you don't watch that and then go out and cut people's bloody hearts out and chop them to pieces. You don't play a violent video game and then go out and hurt people. If anything, it satiates the animalistic, deep medulla oblongata desires to be aggressive and violent. So anybody that wants to use that argument, that's talking from a place of, well, it must be that way, and common sense, which there is no such thing as common sense, most overused term ever. No one is burnt. Boy, there's nothing common with what we sense is nothing. So anyway, I'll stop there. But but
you make a very good point. You make a very good point. One, if common sense is so common, everybody would fucking use it. Well, secondly, I would love to resurrect 3 people, and I would love to see their, and I want to make sure they didn't die of a heart attack. Maybe one, but not the other 2. I would love to resurrect 3 people and, just have their straight out blunt, thoughts on today's society. And I'm sure that 2 of them would probably have a heart attack and die again, just to see how much things have gone AWOL. I would love to resurrect Frederick Wortham and have his whole bullshit debunked by a lot better men than him. I would love to have Jack the King Kirby resurrected, and I would love to have Martin Luther King resurrected. And I'm not saying these people, I'm not lionizing Jack the King Kirby or Martin Luther King or Frederick Wortham on any level. They are pioneers in their field on a certain level. And they are the ones that influenced people, either for the positives or the negatives, to live their lives the way they feel is necessary. Jack the King Kirby is called the King because he came up with all these ideas, and Stan Lee helped him, get his artwork out there. Same with Bill Finger, which thankfully he got his recognition. And if you people haven't watched Batman and Bill, go hunt it down and watch it. I'm not going to talk about it, but it's fucking great. And Martin Luther King basically was a realist. I mean, he was a human, and people put him on a pedestal. I don't, but he wasn't dumb. He was basically saying, hey, look, we can work this out. We don't have to be violent about stuff. We can find some way of people that are of different skin tones to live together without, resorting to our baser instincts. And I think if we brought those 3 people, to say the least, one of them, if Frederick Wortham had a heart attack, I wouldn't care, because you didn't know him as a person. I just know that his one book that made the ways it made changed stuff way too much for the worst in some opinions, some beliefs that I have. But I think Jack the King Kirby would probably just say, what have you guys done with my characters? And then he would probably be revered. And I think Martin Luther King would probably just facepalm himself saying, put me back to the grave. You guys have learned nothing. But again, it all relates back to choice, where we've always had a choice. It's not strictly the on and off button, but that's what it breaks down to. You either do or you don't. And to have people tell us, you have to do this, you have to do that. When you tell somebody they have to do something, it's common, and this is common knowledge because the common man does know this. Every human knows this. It's instinctive. When you tell somebody to do something,
they don't want to do it.
Exactly. They don't want to do it. Not because you're right or wrong. It's because, look, don't tell me what to do. That's an inherent trait with every single human being on this planet, no matter the age group. Now, what we do get in the long run is how you say something. If I say to you, hey, Mad Dodge, hey, Ogre, when you get a chance, I'm going to make a suggestion, and if you want to, feel free. If not, that's fine. Go check this out. I think you may like it. Here's why I like it, because blah, 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 blah. And I would respectfully suggest to you, if you want, go check it out. As opposed to me saying, Ogre and Mad Dodge, go check this out whether you like it or not, because I know exactly what I'm talking about. And now the latter, you're basically going to say, seriously, Dade? Hell no. To the former, you may say, you know what? If I get a free minute, I'll give it a shot. Thanks for the recommendation. But it's choice. It's about how you say things, and it's about giving people a choice. The comic book industry does not give people who are not Marvel and DC a choice. They do not give independent comics a choice. They are trying to run them down, buy them out, take over the properties, and butcher them.
Yeah, and before we get too far away from it, I had something to say about the violence in video games and stuff like that. So, have you ever watched Penn and Teller's Bullshit?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
So they did an episode on this. They took a kid who plays Call of Duty for like 2 hours every day after school, and they took him to a gun range and handed him an AR-15. And the kid had never shot a gun before. Now my kids have, so this wouldn't happen with my kids. but he shot the gun and he actually started bawling, like crying, like it didn't compute, you know, like it was totally different than the video game because, well, it is.
That's reality and it sucks.
Yeah, first off, I blame the parents for never teaching their kid how to shoot.
Yeah.
Second, that goes far to show the difference. You know what I mean? You're absolutely right, Ogre. It doesn't correlate between the two at all. Now, do psycho people play video games? Yeah, they do. They're still psycho, not because of the video games, but because they're freaking psycho.
Well, I still play Grand Theft Auto 5. In fact, I love the Grand Theft Auto series next to the Final Fantasy series. And I play the Grand Theft Auto games. When each new one comes out, what do you think the first thing I do is? I'll steal a car and I'll run somebody over. Why? Because I know that in the real world, the one that's not pixelated, I can't just get in my car and run somebody over for a few reasons. One, that's murder, and that's taking the choice of their life away from them, which I'm not fond of. Two, I don't want to pay the premiums for my car being fixed. And three, odds are I'm going to jail, which means I've just now made the choice to take my life and other various choices away and being put in jail where all my choices are made for me.
That's right.
So video games can be good for people. They can relieve stress. They can relieve that kinetic energy that's building up inside a person. And that person can go out and say, you know, I feel great. I've killed 1,500 people on Grand Theft Auto today or Call of Duty or whatever. I'm going to go out. Oh, hey, I got to go to work. Sweet. My shift is going to go so much better because I'm not stressed out. But everybody wants to blame everybody, and not be held accountable for their own actions or their own self or their own choices that they make. And honestly, Mad Dodge, I laugh at the little shitheads that do this Call of Duty crap. And they go to a gun range and they go, oh, that's not the way it works. Like, yeah, bitch, that's the way it exactly works. Guns and war in real life are nothing like in a video game. Video games may be influenced by wars and conflict and battles that are currently going on or have gone on before. But bitch, you ain't out there doing it. You're on a fucking couch playing a game. You don't know shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I shot my first gun at 8, and it was an AR-15. And I was watching that episode of Penn and Teller's BS, and I was just like, how is this kid crying? I loved it. Like, I loved shooting the first time I went out and shot a gun. Mom didn't like guns at the time, so my stepdad had to sneak me up to where we were going to shoot. So, like, it was really cool for me.
Yeah, and thankfully, I had my driver's license long before Grand Theft Auto ever came out, because I didn't learn on a stick. I'm not coordinated enough to drive a stick. I learned on an automatic, and that's, you know, everybody learns differently, but that's fine. But what I learned from my dad was this is, you know, how you drive. This is why you drive this certain way, and you're going to run into all these people that have what was essentially labeled as road rage. And you let them be them because they're the ones that are going to be paying for your car to be fixed, and you don't have to worry about it. He was right. Most parents are right. And as we grow up, we realize our parents are not as dumb as we think they are. But one thing that my parents never did was saying, you can't do this. They didn't say, Dade, I don't want you listening to heavy metal. They basically said, we don't like heavy metal. And I said, well, I'm not going to stop listening to it. And they go, yeah, we know. Here's some headphones. Okay, great.
All right, here's a little drama, man. Look, and I got to say this because, look, in Staggerson Jags is like my right-hand man. He's like he's the fourth member of he's almost the fifth wheel. And so if you are listening, Staggerson Jags, which you may be lurking in the background, just not typing, I know that you just seen this DM. Come on in here. And as we ease into this comic book discussion, maybe we can discuss, because all I can say is, man, this is all I'm going to say, Mad Dodge, is this. If someone I know has blatantly taken an idea from me I look at it like Joe Rogan, man. He's the joke thief police, man. Y'all know that, right? He like keeps track and looks and sees that these sons of bitches. Here he is. So here we go, boys. Because I love both you boys, I really want. That's why I'm not getting involved. And here's the man, Mad Dodge. So I know one thing about this guy. Hang on. Let me finish before I cut him loose on everybody, because the motherfucker's here now. Y'all can deal with him. All I'm saying is, sometimes, I mean, there are cross pollinizations and whatnot. And all I'm going to say, and look, Stag, I don't get in your business, man. I just heard this from Mad Dodge. Mad Dodge, I don't get in your business. I just heard this from you. Both y'all are my bros. But sometimes a cross pollination, and I'll say this. Stag's a very, very creative gentleman. I can't see him taking somebody. So I know this is off topic, but I just can't see Staggerson Jags fucking stealing something from someone. So here you go, Mad Dodge. Here's the boy.
No, Staggerson, it wasn't his stream. He was just on it, and that's how I saw it. But what's up with?
Well, shit, you was talking about Staggerson Jags. I got him on. Okay, well, anyway, I got him on the stream anyhow, so it's good no matter what.
No, there's no real drama. I was just like, what the heck, another Red Eye? Like, that's messed up, Stags. What's up with your buddy doing the Red Eye stream or whatever last night?
Oh, did you invent calling stuff Red Eye?
I didn't invent it. I just have 15 of them already. I'm not like making drama. I think
what do you want me to do? Like
a little bit too much. And there's no drama. I was just like,
you want me to, like you're saying, what up, Stags? Like, what am I supposed to do? It's his stream. He can call it whatever the fuck he wants. I'm not going to tell him.
Guy.
No, and I wasn't trying to start drama with you, Stags. Like,
pink eye, red eye.
We already had our drama once, and we got over it. So I was hoping.
I did look at that for a little bit, and I didn't see anything on Staggerson's channel that.
No, it was.
I'm not going to do this. I mean, I don't know. I think you know that Stag and I are a little bit affiliated.
Yeah,
so
no.
I feel like I don't want to play. Anyway, Staggerson is more than comparable. He's more than able to defend himself. So what he's saying is, and we can all answer that. But what would we want him to do if it's not his stream? And I would think of Gavin McGinnis and who's that little guy with the elf ears on Fox there? You know, when he's on the 5, and they had the Red Eye for a long time on Fox.
Yeah, so, I know. That's where I got the idea, but I changed it up and called it the Red Eye stream instead of just Red Eye.
Stag, take over.
Well, you can't. I mean, like, I don't feel like this is a very big deal, man. We're not going to be
no
friends over it or anything.
Yeah, it wasn't your channel, man.
Yeah, but you can't like feel like that's your name. You know what I mean?
What if I just started using Stream of Consciousness? Should I have that as my new Mad Dodge stream coming up every Monday?
Is that like a trope? Is that like a common thing that people name their show?
I've never seen, and other than Fox News, I've never seen anybody do like a Red Eye stream.
Have you heard of taking a Red Eye flight or a Red Eye bus or a fucking Red Eye
gravy?
Run down to the goddamn beer store to get beer in the middle of the night?
It's about fucking Red Eye gravy up there.
I've never called going on a beer run a Red Eye.
I was just pulling something out of my ass, man.
Okay, yeah, because that didn't make sense.
No, this is what's getting me though. So what help me understand, gentlemen, too. So in other words, this wasn't your stream, somebody else named it, whatever, and you would just happen to be on it. Yeah. I mean, Stag's on an awful lot of streams in his defense.
I know. No, I wasn't mad at
that. Was my voice, and he was having a.
I was just like, I saw it, and I went in the chat, and I typed some dots, and I downvoted it and left. That's all I did.
That's cool. And I don't want to make this into some big old thing.
But you are.
Out of shape.
You are making it into something big. And I'm going to quash this right now. Both y'all niggers are gay. And I love you both. Just keep the peace.
Thank you.
They're waiting monetization over. They're wait. Say bye-bye to them.
He never gets monetized.
I don't give a fuck. I can't mind that anyway.
He never gets monetized anyway. And, but, you know, that's the interesting thing about this. We have 2 people who came in. They have conflicting sides about something, and they straightened it out. And not once did I hear Stag or Mad Dodge get personal about it or make personal attacks.
Well, Mad Dodge is a faggot.
Well, you're both gay, so shut up.
No. I love everybody, but I'll only put the gauntlet down with my co-host. You can't tell him to shut up. You just can't. So hang on now. Wait. So I'll say this. This is the best thing. So without making it some big controversial shit stream, hey, Staggy, baby, we've been talking about comic books and how DC and because I think we can all agree, because I've looked at Staggerson's channel, I don't see anywhere where it says Red Eye. He does a stream of consciousness. It's been a long time. And I understand too, also, I'll say this, Stag, I do understand, because I'm a little fish in a big ocean, like the feeling that someone may have if they see even semi-successful and it's got something that they're in and they maybe think that something was taken. So but we've got it worked out, right? Stag didn't take nothing. If he did, it's like I said, I would be a little funny if somebody took Church of Keck, but holy fuck, I ain't got no patent on that. Or Police State is the name of the one that Stag joins us on. And I mean, it's like, Staggy, how can we get mad if somebody said Police State? I mean, holy fuck, I didn't invent that. So boom. But we are talking about this. I think y'all aired everything. There's no hard feelings, right?
Talking about choice.
But there's no hard feelings here between you two, though. I hope.
No, there's no hard feelings. I just have a new show lineup coming up next week.
No, we'll get it. Stag will probably promote it, man. He's the fucking top-notch motherfucker, dude. I guarantee you. Stag, he ain't never stole nothing.
Doing the thing. Keep calling your stream Red Eye Stream, man, and you've been doing it. You'll keep doing it. People will either catch on or they'll keep using the words. Who gives a fuck? Like,
I was making a joke, man. I was joking. I'm not stealing anything.
Well, no, I'm just trying to give you some encouragement about it. I understand how that could probably fucking rub you the wrong way, man.
Well, no, and it was right after that fight where fucking McGregor didn't even hit the ground and they called it a knockout, and I was already mad about that.
Man, he was knocked the fuck out, man. McGregor knocked the fuck out. He was in there with a master of science.
He still had his hands up. He was on the ropes. Come on now.
He should have never been in the ring with a master. I don't even like, I want to make this clear. I don't even like his opponent. I don't even want to say his freaking name, okay? But I will say this. We are talking about somebody that has studied the sweet science. It's an art, and it's a form of physical activity that goes against every human reaction possible. When you get punched in the face, you lean into it. You don't back up. You never back up. And he's in there with, man, Floyd Mayweather Jr. That nigga fucking bad ass, man. He'll get on his bicycle. He doesn't care. If he can't beat you up, he'll get on his bicycle and make you look like a fool around. So all I'm saying is it was a circus. That was a circus, man. Should never happen.
Actually, Stag, you're saying our stream is about choice and it being limited. We just started out with comics because it seems that a lot of people seem to have issues with the way that they're being presented in various physical formats as well as topics. So our overall topic today is about our choice in matters and how we deal with stuff and how they're being limited and why people need to continue to make choices for themselves and not be influenced by others.
Oh, that sounds like a pretty good topic, man. There's a lot there to pick at.
Well, we covered the comic book angle, and we covered mostly the music and movie angle. But it's like I said, when you and Mad Dodge were talking about this, you guys made the choice to goof on each other and act civilly. And it seems a large portion of people these days make the choice not to, do that to each other, which is rather disparaging, and it does weaken this American psyche, to say the least.
I'm thinking right now, and I'm trying to imagine, I'm trying to put myself inside of Staggerson's mind right now, and I'm going to the corner of Don't Give a Fucks, and I think that everything that happened right before this was like in that corner somewhere. Like, just so let's move on with it. Like you said, let's move on with the idea, and maybe get his.
And we all know it was McGregor's fault. Don't lie.
Yeah, well, I mean, that motherfucker just wanted to be famous, and he wasn't as famous as he wanted to be. It's just the way it was. Oh, that looks so good, Stag. I'm gonna join you. So,
but even more so, Ogre, you make a very good point about that. And look how people reacted. They made the choice to overplay the drama.
It happens, though, man. It happens.
It does.
What I like to see is when good men come together and iron out their differences. I still think that there is this thing happening. Oh, thank you, baby, Mrs. Ogre. That looks so cool. Mrs. Ogre got me another picture frame for my other picture by Nachi Free. Off topic. So here we go. I just want to keep it light, Stag, because I don't see you all the time, and you're like one of my favorite people. But do you think is there a possibility that DC and Marvel Comics are trying to change the way we feel about each other and kind of interject into this I don't know, SJW. I don't want to get deep either, man. I'm on the daggone skeleton.
That's a valid
train.
question.
I'm on a skeleton train with you, Stag. I'm trying to stay away from the heavy shit.
That's absolutely freaking the case, I think, man. I don't think there's any doubt about that. That's their motivation for sure. Which is noble, I suppose, in its own way.
Well, isn't it like anything else during the World War II era of superhero comics where they would use propaganda to, and we do know, knowing that we're from the generations that came after that, World War II was a shit fest, and the reason that it happened sucked. But during the time, they would say they did create Captain America and Wonder Woman out of this specifically, and it was basically they were using comic book characters for propaganda, and then they did the same thing in the 50s, and then in the 60s and 70s, they did the same thing with very more subtle messaging, especially talking about social subjects that people didn't really understand or know about everywhere. A prime example for me would have been when you found out Speedy was a heroin addict, and Green Lantern was shown by Green Arrow, or Green Arrow was shown by Green Lantern. Hey, you know, you're talking big about all this stuff on social, political issues, but your ward's a junkie. And again, when that comic book came out, it was risque at the time because the Comic Code Authority didn't want it to talk about stuff like that. But not everybody in America knew problems like those existed. So it, in a way, was a social justice issue, but it was done right. And nowadays, it seems to be on the reverse or the flip side. But it's something that's always been done in comic books and reading material, pinpointing and pushing forward a message of design. What do you think?
Oh, I thought he was catching his breath. I thought we were having a vape off here on the side.
Shit. I sort of lost track of you there at the end. Man. Sorry, I was looking at chat. I agree with most everything you said there about change. I mean, the works influencing or at least supposing to influence the psyche of the general public on that sort of level that we're discussing.
Dude, I hate it, man, but I'm trying to keep on presenting. You look like a fucking, you look like a motherfucking Nazi now, brother.
With the glasses? Why is he
No,
Nazi glasses? I never heard that.
I'm talking about the haircut and shit, man. I'm just talking about the haircut.
He looks like Bono on a good day.
Without the hair and the beard, man. But I'm trying. You look like straight up daggone what's Spencer, man, and whatnot.
No, he looks like Bono on a good day. Bono wishes he looked that good.
He looks like Bono before Bono got fucking AIDS.
That's right, pretty much.
You grow a goatee if that would help.
No, I just keep it that.
Or get a guitarist who can't
sing. On the air now, and I want to randomly go off all the heavy shit if I possibly can. Are you going to be here tomorrow? We're going to have Weeaboo Jones. You know that chick, Weeaboo Jones?
I'm going to be traveling tomorrow.
It's going to be at the late time, and I kind of need you. I hate to say this while there's a whopping 12 people watching us, but we'll need you there. We really will. She's cute. She's young. She's more of a like your age, and she's also smart.
Yeah, you drive a hard bargain, sir. But I am going to be traveling tomorrow, so there's a slim chance that I'll be able to join.
All right, no worries. Either way, you'll just dig her. It was a get because, man, Friday there was no way of me knowing, and you were at work anyway. But Friday, freaking Undoom slipped up in here, brother, and now he was like, join us, you know, maybe, but he doesn't do schedules. So hopefully, when we get another big person. And I'm done leaning over and giving head to Staggerson now. But you know, hopefully we'll have. Yeah. Anyway, just give me those things. So hopefully we'll have Undoom join us when we got some other, you know, kick-ass human being on with us, man, and put some pressure on the Brit. He's slowing us down, man. When we were on there, dude, you didn't join us that day. We had 500 people watching us, dog.
Oh, was Sargon on?
Yes, with Sargon. And then when Sargon's not on his channel, which we've done twice, there's an average of 250 people watching. So it's just a wonderful time to be there with your cool glasses and say, hey, I'm Staggerson Jags. Look at my channel, bitches.
Yeah. Slacking lately because I've just been so busy with moving and getting everything organized and have this job in Arizona that I'm doing. So
and not to get
a hectic time.
Off topic, so what's up with that? I thought you were done moved.
Well, yeah, it's a long process, man. We were pretty dug into that old house up there, so there's still some remnant stuff. In fact, in a few minutes, I'm going to have to hop off here and get back to work on it.
Oh, that's cool, because right now, Zero Cool is killing me with his radar vision. Like, 'cause we had pretty, but he was running the stream before I just took over and brung you on, and we fucked it all up.
I wouldn't have asked you to start to host the stream if I didn't know that shit was going to happen. So I knew what I was getting into.
It was real regimented, Stag. I wasn't saying shit, man. I just like listened to NWA because I think it was you that tweeted this shit out. I was like, I fuck the police coming straight from the underground. Young Jew got it bad because I'm fucking kind of brown. You know, I was just digging that shit. And anyway, so if we wrecked it, but listen, Stag, think about tomorrow. If we did possibility, you can make a chance. It would be cool. This is a really cool young girl that I have a feeling that once, especially yourself and Common Sense Guy, he's the one that got her on. You two will end up doing some kind of collab or something. She's funny, she's smart, she's young and pretty, and she's on our side. And it's kind of hard to find those.
I don't know I don't know if I'm on anybody's side anymore. I've been thinking about a lot of stuff lately, and I've started taking a step back, especially from the social politics. And I'm starting to take more of a centrist view on the social politics side, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? Like, I'm starting to notice ridiculous stuff on both sides of the issue. And you'll see me calling out people on both sides on Twitter a lot lately. Like, even in chats, I'll just ask people that I'm trying to disagree with everybody, but I like to play devil's advocate just to see where people stand, try to work the nuance out of a lot of these situations. Like, was it cool when they tore down the statue of Saddam Hussein? Was that cool?
I said no in a video I just did, and also I know you got short time, so elaborate a little bit on the skeleton crew and help us understand why we're taking our skins off.
Oh, well, because fuck all this shit, skeleton war.
Very succinct and precise.
I mean, that's pretty much the gist of it. Like, you know, you just wake up in the morning and you think, fuck today. You just have a skeleton war. Fuck it. Yeah. Britisher's not here. I can say fuck, right?
Oh, yeah. I say fuck sometimes at church. He busts my balls. Like, really, Mr. Oga? Profanity, is that necessary? I'm like, fuck yeah, it is, dog. You know, but I'm going to do something here that I don't do a lot on the weekdays, but I'm going to do it now because I want everybody to see this that may not have seen it before, and I think it's kind of freaking cool. You know, so hang in there and see if you think it's cool. This is Staggerson Jags. This is like his doing it. I think I don't know. I get the feeling that I can't keep up the nonsense either. Eventually, we have to just say, you know what, we're all human beings. Check this out.
Are you tired of the left? Are you tired of the right? Join us now. Shirk your skin and rise up in bones. Join the skeleton army, for the skeleton war is nigh. There are no politics here. There is no alt-right. There are no SJWs. There are only flesh coats and the skinless bone warriors. Choose your side, for the skeleton war is now.
Come on, man. He even left camera. I think because he's creative. Creative people, it is bad of me to think that creative people will just like be cool with you showing how fucking creative they are. But I'm gonna tell you, Stag, I watched that show my old lady. I was like, take this shit out, man. That's kind of badass how he, you know, and you made this up, right? You didn't steal this from Mad Dodge Production.
No, this one I made up myself. Yeah.
Sorry, man. Sorry, man.
Yeah, fuck off, Ogre.
He's trying to start a fight between us. And it's
no way. As a matter of fact, that's why I had you on. I like you both, and I really thought it was some kind of misunderstanding because, look, I don't want to go back into it. We've already established it's not on your channel. You didn't call anything. It's just what it is. I can also feel, I mean, it would be like I try to put myself in Mad Dodge Productions in this short little hour and a half, 2 hour long time. I knew this was something going on in his mind, okay? And I did put myself in this position. And I imagine, okay, what if, you know, that faggot Sargon of Akkad or something was calling something church? And I'd be like, damn, he was just on my little stream, seeing I was called it church, and now he's calling it church at Keck. You know, but anyway, like I said, no. I not only don't want you all to fight, I kind of figured, Stag, I don't know how much you two have been on streams together. I just knew once you got here and was able to interact with this gentleman that it would just all be like, come on, man, what's the problem? I can also say, brother, that we both, there was a little something that you do now that I kind of give you an idea for. And the thought of, for me, because I've known you since I think you started this freaking game. The thought for me of you stealing something is abhorrent. It's not in your nature, and I just wanted you to give. Anyway, so can we leave that alone now? I don't want no fights. I wanted it to be ironed out.
We discussed I wasn't even going to use the name, but you were like, yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. No, that was.
I just want to throw it out there. He stole those glasses from me. Like, he broke in my back door, stole those glasses.
No, he stole that from Bono. Bono is jealous because Staggerson is more Bono than Bono.
And what about the fucking Beetle guy, man? The Beetle dude wore that shit, man. He got shot down in New York, you know? Imagine all the people.
The Beatles guy? Dude, you need to get the hell out of here. Yeah. The Beatles guy.
Talking about
John
Jim Morrison,
Lennon.
right? Jim Morrison,
yeah, Jim
right?
Morrison, that guy. He was also in the Monkees.
All
Yeah.
right,
Get the hell out of here, the Beatles guy. I don't even like the Beatles.
I will now
I know
silence
the Beatles.
myself
You
for
hurt
5
me.
minutes as y'all talk amongst
You're
yourselves.
gonna make me cry. Thanks, buddy. I didn't need your help.
This is obnoxious.
Well, that's Ogre's fault. We actually had a topic and he derailed it as per usual. So
He brought me on here, and it's hard to stay on topic when I join. Sorry.
well, it's his fault because he said the Beatles guy. That's what really derailed it. But in all seriousness, I think we did get the point across of what the main crux of the live stream was about today. It is about choice. It is whether we do or we don't, and why there's always the third option. And ultimately, it's like anything else. You don't have to like something, but you also really honestly should be good about it and not discourage somebody else from not liking what they like as well. You know, that's a choice right there.
Fuck that.
The Beatles guy, get out of here.
Sorry. And I got one more special guest coming on too here. I think, you know what, I'm just gonna say his name now because he said give me 22 minutes ago. So Prankster Locke might be swinging by. We just call him Locke. Nathan Lockhart. We just call him Locke. Funny kid there. Stag. We bump into each other so rarely. I don't know if you checked out his stuff, but he does like. They got these. People are saying, look, we'll give you $100 gift card to Walmart or something like that, you know. But then when you call them, it's some Indian feller, you know, and they're like, oh, we would like to give you a $100 card, but in order to do that, you have to give us $29.99 processing, you know, and they take your $29 and you don't ever get nothing. And he ends up calling these people. Anyway, Stag, hopefully if you're able, you'll be around to meet this kid. And yeah, I'm done derailing it. I'm sorry. I'm fucking Ogre. It's just, and look, I'm not going back to that. It was just like, I think I have 7 brothers and sisters. So as soon as a brother and sister got some kind of like something going on, I was always the one in my family that went and was like, hey, y'all are arguing. Let's get together and fucking fight, you know? And so whatever. I take responsibility for that flaw that I have. I'm just glad y'all worked it out. Because man, Stag, I'll say it again. The reason I sent you this, Stag, is because of you. As much as I like Mad Dodge, I fucking followed you from day one on YouTube. And I've just never known you to, what I'm trying to say is I think that you and Mad Dodge are both creative enough that there need be no thievery. And if there was accidental, because let's face it, we all hang out together. So I may pick up something from Staggerson or Mad Dodge or Cool, and I might say something later that sounds like I stole it from you, but I don't even remember where I got it from. You know what I mean? And boom. I really
I don't know if you know this or not, but MDP and I are actually friends.
Yeah, I know.
We're
so y'all set this up just to make me look stupid.
Yeah, I think we're friends, right, buddy? We're friends. I called you a faggot. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're friends.
No, friends always call each other faggots. That's the way it works, right?
Yeah.
All my friends know I'm a faggot.
And the other thing I was going to say was that you could use any of my shit you want, man. I don't care.
All right.
I was just in a bad mood after that fight last night, and I saw that shit. I was like, what the fuck? Because you shared it on Twitter. I'm like, oh, Stags is in the stream. Cool. And I'm like, what? What's this called?
It was called the Red Eye Church Stream. It was called the Red Eye Police State Church Stream.
Go to YouTube and type in Red Eye Stream in the search bar and see how many pages you have to look through before you find yours.
Fair enough.
Not to be,
Fair
a
enough,
dick, I'm actually going to do that.
Tiny channel. You know, like you're right. So
I don't even know if it's right. I'm going to look at it. I'm going to check him out right now. I'm going to type in Red Eye Stream. I'll do it right here where y'all can see it.
When I set up my second channel, where
I did
Stream
it
of
went right to
Consciousness.
him. I just did it right now, and he's third video down. The Red Eye Stream number 11, Mad Dodge Productions. Then the Red Eye Stream number 15. Then number 14. Then number 9. Then number 10.
Wow,
number 8. Number 12.
Oh
Number 2.
Lord! Well, let's all just jump on
serious?
fucking. Let's all just jump on Staggers.
I'm definitely serious.
No,
No, you told me to put in yeah.
I did.
Red Eye
Did I
Stream.
spell it wrong? Because I don't see nothing. I don't see anything like that.
Yeah, I put in
Red
Red Eye as
Red
well.
Eye.
What I
And then
read eye. I thought read eye. I was trying to do it fast. Read eye.
Yeah, he reads too much.
No, I'm such a moron. I can't fucking spell.
Oh, yeah,
He's
it's
a
right there.
moron.
Yeah, no, it's the third one down. All right. Well, whatever. You're a bloody
And none of
freaking
the other ones are
and
either.
you've never had an original idea in your life. Fine. I don't know what to say.
So you got it, man. You got Red Eye Stream. I stand corrected on that. You can fucking plant your flag in that shit and stream it. I'll fucking tweet at a very dead horse right now and call him a fucking bitch.
No.
Just calling him
Yeah,
a moron.
I won't do that. I
Just
won't
tell
do
him he's
that.
a moron. You know, a mole and a ron. A moron. Is that like a mole? And he won't figure it out, but that's okay.
He's killing me. He's making me want to show my bald head too. I'm trying to grow my hair, Staggerson. That's what pisses me off. You shaved that beautiful. You got beautiful freaking ginger locks just dripping down off your forehead, and you just shave that shit off like it's not even.
Only Zero Cool and Razor Fist have the good hair.
You got badass hair. I won't deny that. Zero Cool. You got.
He's got longer hair, that's for sure.
You got hair growing out of your nose, man, like right out of your eyebrows. You don't even have a forehead. You got a one head.
Like Wolverine and shit.
Oh Lord! All right, so can we try to salvage this now, Zero? Have I already ruined it too much?
No, like I said, I think that we actually covered the topic quite well already, and I wanted Staggerson's 2 cents, and I think he put his in. We covered the topic long ago, and it's just pretty much a free for all. I think that what people need to remember is everything is about choice. Make a choice. Don't let somebody make it for you. And if you don't like something, don't buy it. And if somebody does like something, don't disparage them from liking something. Make the choice to have a choice.
Not to decide, you still have made a choice. Oh, that was so messed up. You know,
Please
not to
stop.
decide, you still have made a choice.
You suck. If this was the Gong Show, I'd be hitting that gong repetitively.
I was supposed to do the falsetto thing and be like, and if you choose not to.
Wait. The first one was better.
Yes.
Lord knows.
See, we get 2 choices. Which version was better?
That's why you shouldn't have talked so much shit on the first one, because then you had the second choice.
Oh,
I made the choice to talk shit, and I regret doing it. Oh well, it happens.
I have a question. How many riots are happening because McGregor lost? Are the Irish people just wigging out right now?
None that I'm aware of.
Oh, go figure.
Oh,
Are you being racist?
No, he's being serious.
Yeah, no, if Floyd would have lost, I bet you Black Lives Matter would be in the street.
Oh, yeah. You know, I'm waiting for them to go off their fucking nut because Floyd got his picture taken with President Trump. And call him a coon and Uncle Tom and all this other shit. These fucking idiots. You know, okay, first and foremost, Black Lives Matter. You suck because you stole your ideas from fucking Aaron McGruder, the creator of the Boondocks, and Huey Freeman. You fucking fake-ass, punk-ass, Suge Knight wannabe bitches. Y'all fucking suck. You can't think of nothing original. That being said, that being said, yeah, it was. There ain't no way McGregor was gonna win. I'm sorry, but I still don't see. I don't see them white people rioting over shit. It was what it was. It was just a sporting event. It went down the way it went down, and then that's all there is to it. You know?
I know. I was mainly trying to make a joke. It kind of fell flat, I think.
It was flat as a piece of paper or Ellen Page's breast, but we're gonna, you know, whatever.
I guess I'm not that creative. Fuck.
Can't win them all, man.
Well, you know, honestly, it's I can't remember who I was talking to about it. It was a couple weeks back. I think I was talking to Logical Lion, where we were talking about the name Band-Aid. where it's Band-Aid is a registered trademark name, but people know it so well as a household name, and the actual word being for the product is adhesive strips, that when people go to the store, they're going to buy what they're going to buy. They have the choice to make to buy what they're going to buy, but they're so well known with the term of Band-Aid, and even if they buy the Walmart brand and say, "Oh, I'm buying some Walmart brand, Walmart brand Band-Aids," that's kind of the way it is with Red Eye. I mean, just think about it. It's becoming synonymous with the type of the live stream that's being produced as opposed to an actual physical name.
Well, I'll add something to that too, specifically like with the Band-Aid thing and a few other brands. They've actually lost, like they can't sue other companies or anybody for using the term Band-Aid because it's such a well-used term.
Yep. And
so many people use it that the Band-Aid has lost the legal ability to actually like sue other people for using it.
Oh yeah, and that was one of the best things.
In the little jingle, they say Band-Aid brand.
Yep. And that was actually one of the best things that happened to them, because they still sell so much of their product. They don't, in the long run, they didn't end up giving a shit. They were uptight about it at first, and then when they lost the rights to sue people, they realized people are still buying our stuff first because it's a household name. It's synonymous with our adhesive strips product, that people are going to think of us first, even if there's a chance they buy the so-called Walmart brand or so-called generic brand. They're still thinking of our product. In which that's become legendary. That's more valuable than money. They've got such a reputation of legend with Band-Aid alone. So, or
right down to the consumer level, you get a cut on your hand that needs a Band-Aid, and you go to the medicine cabinet, and you open it up, and you got, name Band-Aid brand adhesive strips, and next to that you got like the generic ones, and like, so, which ones are you gonna grab? You're like, I know these are gonna be the best ones. You got the Band-Aid ones.
Yeah. So again, they made the choice to say, we realize we have a losing battle over here trying to sue people. Screw it. Just let it go, which they did, and now they've become legendary. So it's the Red Eye stream is becoming not as legendary as the Band-Aid brand, but it's becoming the idea of that's the type of live stream. It's becoming synonymous with a certain style. And when you put whoever's name in front of it, that's their Red Eye live stream. And that'd just be like saying Staggerson's Band-Aids or Zero Cools or Dade Murphy's, whatever. And that's just the way it is. And that's good. That's good marketing to keep it not to have people snipe at each other. I'm not saying you guys are, but in an overall perspective, it's better to say it's a Red Eye stream, much like saying I'm going to grab some Band-Aids or I'm going to grab a Pepsi, because you can grab a Pepsi and you'll still take a Mountain Dew. You know what you want.
No, man, Staggies is a stream of consciousness, man.
Whatever. Yeah, you get the general idea.
I was just being a dick, yes.
Yeah, well, and it's like, I just completely forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know, something about Band-Aids?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm over it. I was number 3 on the list when you looked it up. I'm good. I'm golden.
Well, you got me. I was in the middle of taking a bone swat when you said that.
This is YouTube, man. Some freaking Keemstar could decide he's going to do a Red Eye stream, and nobody will ever remember that you ever did one.
That's harsh, man, but correct.
It's the reality, dude. I don't make the rules. I'm just calling like I see it. I'm not Keemstar. It's just the way it fucking works, man. It's YouTube. It's a harsh mistress.
All PewDiePie has got to call his stream his church, and I'm done.
Yeah. People will be calling you ripping off PewDiePie.
Fucking ripping him off. It don't matter what they look at the dates. It wouldn't be matter. It'd be like, nah, you ripping him off, dude. You suck. Anyway, I mean, it's just, I'm going to shut up. I think that Prankster Lock is going to swing in here. Hopefully it'll be before you do leave. Staggy, main. Staggy. I'm going to take one. So watch this, Stag. Watch. We got a big one.
But going back to the Band-Aid thing here, Staggerson, this is something that Marvel Comics needs to follow through with, is getting their heads out of their asses, and instead of forcing stuff upon people, do it Johnson & Johnson did, the actual owners of Band-Aid say, hey, you know what? We're taking a step back here. We're going to let people use the term Band-Aid for their product, and we're still going to come out on top because we let our ego go by the wayside, let it be what it is. And as such, we've given the people the choice to buy whatever product they want, but they're still going to think of us first.
Yeah, or like Bayer Aspirin deciding that they're just going to let people call the stuff they buy on the street heroin, and say, look, we're not going to have a big ego. You can call that heroin even though we invented it.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Aspirin is such a it's these medicinal products or home products that are now so well known because the companies that own the name brand, while they say you can't call your product Bayer, you can still say, yeah, go ahead and say aspirin, or say, oh, I need a Bayer, or I need an Advil, and somebody's like, oh, I've got acetaminophen, oh, so I can give me that. That's a choice that these big companies basically said, you know, we're going to win in the long run by choosing to back the fuck off and instead of being assholes about it. And something DC, Marvel, and these big two of the comic industries need to realize is to start backing the fuck off from telling what they can and can't read, and in any format, whether it's individual issues or graphic novels, and let the little guy get in here, and they're going to have that victory just like the people over at Band-Aid, Bayer, and all this other shit, because they'd be like, oh, they shed their ego, but they're not letting people have those choices. And that's the funny thing, that of the big pharma and all those guys that people don't like, they're saying, no, fuck this. Our brand names are so damn well known, we don't have to do shit, and we're still making more money than we thought we ever were.
The thing is,
they're giving people the choice.
They don't actually have that choice. The law says that if a name becomes common usage, or copyright to it isn't really.
No, yeah, the legality aside, it's more in the mind of the everyday man that doesn't know what we know. That's where I was pinpointing it specifically. If somebody says, I'm going to go get a Marvel comic, and all they've got, and they don't have Marvel comics, they'll say, oh, well, there's some other comic books here. Great, I'll buy one of these, and then they'll hunt down a Marvel one later or an edition. Marvel's still going to get their money. DC's still going to get their money. But people, the term I'm going to grab a Marvel comic or a DC comic, the independent guys that want to be big are still going to make their money, and then the big guys are still going to make their money, and they're not going to look like the goddamn villains for it because they decided to stop being jackhats. And they're not doing that right now with the storylines and the messages that they're forcing upon people. And instead of saying, and then to ultimately finish this out and rewrite it all the way back to the beginning so we can move on, we've got 75 plus years of comic book history in various formats, titles, storylines, and companies that are still around or have gone by the wayside that people can choose. And that's all there is to it. And all Marvel and DC have to do is piss off, let people have their freedom of choice, even if it's only the 2 or 3 things. And, there you go. And they'll still come out on top, and everybody can move along. So now officially, Ogre, we've rounded about.
Yeah, we got my bro, man. We got my bro here. It's very important. It's super important for us old guys to remember. And I just got to say, Pranks Lot. And we have to remember that it's very important for us old guys to remember there are not a plethora. There's not a wide range of youngsters that are actually very cerebral and good deep thinkers that understand not only satire and comedy, but the real world and real life. And holy shit on a shingle, man, if we ain't got one of them here right now. Prankster Lock, what up, my nigga?
I'm nothing much, really. I've just, my Snapchat's been blowing up all day, so I've just kind of been screwing around with that. So
we'd like to thank you for taking time to swing in here. I seen that you were tweeting that out, that your Snapchat was blowing up even when you were done with it. But, before we get into comic stuff, hey, man, how's school going, kid?
It's been going good. I recently went to the football game, and there was, a bunch of people walking up to me saying they, knew me on social media, and it was kind of awkward, but I think I handled it pretty well, so.
Yeah, keep on doing it. You got it. I keep telling you, and I know I put you in some awkward positions. Staggerson is one of my co-hosts. He'll tell you that I'm not the king of cringe. That is somebody. I'm the king of awkward positions.
It helps me in the long run.
Yeah. It's good for you. Builds character.
And this is who I wanted to introduce you to, kid. This is another very good satirist. Not only, I'm not going to take it away. Look, and these boys are big. They know. But I'm just saying, this is one of my co-hosts, man, Staggerson Jags. He's all into not only parodies, but satire. And maybe you two could, I'll give both y'all the information that coincides with the human being, and you can check each other's stuff out. Stag does something similar to what you do, but he has a reoccurring character. He's called Emmett Woosley. And this gentleman, it's his cousin, I think, but this guy he lets come on the stream. He's like flat earther, and oh my gracious, you know, Jesus saved me from my sins, and if you know all this stuff. So anyway, good that school's going well. Again, man, I'm telling you, I'm the king of cringe, so I don't want to make it cringy. I just want to know how your week's going.
It's been going good so far. I mean, it's definitely had its ups and downs. I like got really down at one point. I'm not even gonna go there. It's just like a bunch of drama, but it's getting better for sure. So,
but and you know, like I said, cringe. But is there any of the drama that you, other than the biggest thing is that people are coming up to you that you really don't know and are like, hey, we've seen your jokes and whatnot.
I wouldn't really say that's drama. I would say it's like more of girl drama. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, we don't want to hear about that shit.
Exactly. That's why I said I'll leave it at that. So
yeah,
no one really cares. Right?
Know. Before you, I mean, look at Stag and me. We're old men. Before you get to be our age, you're gonna have a fucking shit ton of girl drama, homeboy.
Oh,
I hate.
Now, who's the oldest in this lot again, Ogre? I believe
43.
Okay, you got me by maybe what, 6 months?
August 18th, I turned 43.
Okay, you got me by a year. Wait, you turned 43 this year.
I'm old fucker, man. Old faggot.
Oh, you're old fart. You got me not by much. Don't think that you're the oldest mofo on this entire panel. Don't forget that. He's got the dirty socks, though.
Man, I cut a big one, too, and I didn't unmute fast enough. Woo!
Thank Christ that your wife's in the other room thinking, I don't got to put up with this shit.
She made that vegan shit.
Yeah, that'll wreck you, dude. That'll wreck everybody around. You lose friends.
And you wonder, it's like, man, when am I going to stop farting?
I think that's why your hair's going out.
Oh, man, my hair fit. Now we got to go to the bald guy, right? All right, it's fine. It's fine. No, I started losing my hair when I was like 16. No shit. I was almost totally bald when I was 25.
Oh, see, Prankster, you've got one up on Ogre already. You can have nice, luxurious hair like myself and Razor Fist. Just don't do what he does.
Sons of bitches. You
growing it out when I can.
You're bald shaming, man. You're bald shaming. I don't appreciate it.
Well, you know, there are a lot of bald men that look better. You know, honestly, I've got to say there are a lot of bald men who look better bald than they ever did with hair because they look dorky with hair. And honestly, Bruce Willis is one of those people that when I see him with hair, it's like, what the fuck? Shave that mofo. You know,
well, I loved it when he was on Late Night with David Letterman, and he had like a Chia Pet head. I don't know if anybody remembers that. With
oh, I do.
He came out and he had like grass growing, and he was like, "Well, they said I was too bald." Like, anyway. Yeah, you know what?
Okay, don't think I'm trying to ball shame you. I got 2 words for you then, my friend. Telly Savalas.
No, I'm really behind the times. I'm getting this time of the year. I'm so busy with harvesting stuff out of my garden and just doing the farmer's market thing that, man, I'll go like a week or 2 without shaving, which this is more like a month. So, yeah, I won't deny. As a bald guy, I got advice to all you bald fuckers. Look, if you're growing your hair long and you're bald like I am, you look like a child molester. Cut it off.
Then there's a child in the stream that helps.
Well, you ain't no child, but then I wouldn't molest you anyway, son. But
legally, I'm a kid, so.
How old are you?
15.
You're a youngin'.
Yeah.
You're young enough to be my grandkid. Thanks.
Hopefully that makes you feel good.
No.
Damn,
considering I've got well, I am 42 years old, and if you think about it in a biological perspective, the earliest that a man can help bear a child is roughly around 12 or 13.
But it is a mild stretch. I mean, you could.
Oh, that's a very mild stretch. I didn't. Yeah, it's a mild stretch. I know there.
Nah, man, this kid's my peer, man. I choose to think that we're like bros, and there's not really that much difference. It's just a number, man. It's only a number.
Well, it's always homies over hoes. Just remember that.
What kind of numbers are we talking about here?
We're talking about 43 to 15. We're talking about decade numbers.
You're 15, bro?
Yeah, I am.
That's cool, man. You fucking enjoy that shit, dude. Just fucking love
no
it.
kidding. Got it. He has nothing but balding. He has nothing but lumbar pain, balding, testicular cancer, and premature ejaculation left to look forward to. It's officially over once you hit 18. So milk that shit for all it's worth, kid.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking it up now. I'm going to send it to you as soon as because I got this. Oh, there it is. He's on the top of my list because I watch all his shit.
He's like, how did I ever get into this mess?
I'm going to exchange notifications in the side chat if you both can see it. Staggerson, this is Prankster Lock shit right here. It's worth watching. I won't even lie. And I'll do the same thing. Prankster Lock, especially if you go to Staggy's, like anything that says Emmett Woosley, it'll definitely have you laughing. And then he's got some really great it's all of his stuff. All of his content is pretty damn good. So yeah, I think if y'all watch each other, we won't steal anything, but I'm just saying, if y'all watch each other, you maybe could both pick up pointers. You could pick up pointers from a young kid, Staggy, and you could pick up pointers from, a relatively old dude.
Okay, thank you. I'll be sure to do that.
I think that's actually one of the things that there's another thing you pinpointed on there, Ogre, that a lot of people don't do. They don't keep themselves fresh by having that exchange between age groups. Everybody seems to be severely one-sided. It's this versus this, and it's a black and white mentality that really needs to go away. I mean, I learn stuff from my daughter and her friend, in that age group all the time, and it's a different perspective. I'm like, oh, I never thought about it like that. And that's good, healthy mental growth, which a lot of people seem to be stagnant in these days.
Yeah, man, for sure. I got a slight beef with you, Staggerson.
Oh, shit.
I never thought that I'd get 1,000 subs, man. And it's like one thing after the other. And in this last week, my sub count has actually went up faster than it went down because there's this mysterious unsubbing thing.
That's
and
it.
I'm not saying that people are not unsubbing from me. I'm sure some unsub from me, but I get people that are telling me they've resubbed to me like 3 times in a week, man. No kidding. And so it's coming, though. When I get 1,000, you know what I'm going to do, Stag. And I totally blame you for it.
Super chat.
I'm going for a 24-hour, baby.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. That's, you know what? It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Really? It seems now that I'm looking back at yours, it seems like a big thing to me, but we'll see when it's over. And when I hit 1,000, I'm going to do a 24-hour.
Well, mine hit all of a sudden. I wasn't even planning on doing it, but old Beard Barry and kind of jumped in there because I hadn't quite hit 100 yet. I was at like 98, and he's like, well, if I can get you to 100 right now, then you got to turn this stream into the 24-hour stream.
Lord, I know.
So he did that. Like, he got me like 20 subs, right? And just by saying sub to the Staggerson Jags. And yeah, so that happened.
Did it though, brother. 3 8-hour streams in a bloody row, man. I was around for most. I watched a lot. I popped in and out, but you were the one that was there for 24 hours. I'm ready. You would you ever do anything like that, or is that too crazy, Prank? Lock. I'm supposed to call him Lock.
Okay, sorry. I had my microphone turned off.
No, it don't matter. You're probably busy doing kid shit. You're done with us, old man. I understand.
Nah, I was actually checking the live stream comments, and I was trying to talk to some viewers to get them into the stream. It definitely depends where YouTube takes me. I would like to at some point, but definitely not anytime soon. Probably when I'm much older.
He's the only one. After that, too, Stag, I have looked and looked. I can't find anybody else that did a 24-hour stream solo. You dig it? In other words, they might have had their channel there, but you were there. You were either taking a pee or getting coffee, or you were there. And to me, that is fairly incredible. I mean, I don't want to keep pumping you up. Everybody knows you're my bro, so they're like, oh, he's kissing his ass, kiss his dad.
No, it was fun, man. It was, it was cool. You're young, dude. You could do it easy, I bet. When I was your age, I stayed up all the fucking time, man.
In 3 days, baby. All I thought about was pussy and where can I steal some beer when I was 15.
That's why my sleep schedule is so messed up, because I stay up so late and I wake up so early. But
yeah, but I wondered. That's why I asked you how school's going. I wondered if your schedule ever got back. So ever since when you've been back to school, you've never been able to click it back. Because I watch your Twitter. You were saying that you had a problem with the schedule. It's never got back right, huh?
Well, for the most part, no. Sometimes it'll be like I'll have a normal day where I sleep a good bit, but then the next day it's like completely messed up. So it's just kind of on and off, but for the most part it's messed up. So that's always fun.
Well, it shows what I know too. The Zero Cool sent me this thing about the do's and don'ts of 24-hour streams. So I take it back. Apparently, you did not invent the red eye stream, and you also did not invent the 24. No, I should. That was so gay. I shouldn't have fucking said that was so gay. That was the worst jokes I've told in a year.
At least it wasn't as gay as doing a duck face.
No. Ain't doing it. Ain't gonna happen. Well, boys, I got Prankster Lock on here. I'm gonna probably chill out for another half hour or so. I don't even remember when I started this thing. It's been fun though. It has been absolute. When I leave here, I'm going directly to the video I've been working on, which is Yvette Fararka and Bam. And I don't even want to talk about it. I ain't gonna lie, I shouldn't even have said it because I'm with Staggerson, man. I'm ready to shed my skin and join the fucking bone wars, bitches. I'm done with this political Antifa fucking right wing motherfucking cars running into people. Who gives a fuck? Why can't? Hey, man, listen to Rodney King. Can't we all just get along?
No, we can't. It's in our nature not to get along. That's how we have survival. Oh, you didn't mean seriously. No, we still can't. Sorry.
No, and I did want to open the door up to y'all talking instead of me jabbering all the day.
Actually, talking about the 24-hour live stream, that is the modern equivalent of Andy Warhol filming a guy for 8 hours. And I think all that dude did was sleep. That's what it reminded me of. And I said, a 24-hour live stream, you can basically do anything that's going on in front of your camera. If that means you still want to sleep for 8 hours, and that's not the purpose of a 24-hour live stream, of course. But that's actually the modern equivalent. To me, that's the modern equivalent of Andy Warhol's 8 hours of the guy sleeping. And people thought that was fucking genius. And I'm like, what, are you serious? Why would I want to watch a person sleep for 8 hours? I do that myself.
Yeah, no, and I'm talking about a Stag stream, too, where, the guy was there. I got up. I watched him a few times, and after it seemed to be cycles he went through. Staggerson, there seemed to be. I'm talking about him like he's not here. There seemed to be cycles you went through, bro. And it was like I could see after about 18 hours, you looked like it was getting hard, and then after you got up, once you got up to about 20 hours, it looked like you could have done it for 10 days. Is that how you felt?
Yeah, pretty much. That's kind of how I felt. Even after the stream was over, it ended at noon, and I stayed up till 11 o'clock that night. Still just hanging out on tweeting and stuff.
All right, well, you know
so
what?
I wasn't even tired when it was over.
You know what, Prank Lock? We started this out, and when I sent you the thing, it was a while ago. We were talking about comic books. Do you ever read comic books? Or a better question is, and maybe Zero could even frame this better than me. Do you feel like whatever media you enjoy, whether it's movies, comic books, regular, whatever it is, whatever media you enjoy, do you feel like that at this time they're trying to pull you into thinking and acting a certain way?
Honestly, I usually don't really have time to like read books or comics or watch movies or anything. So I'm just going to be like straight up, honestly, no. Just to make a short answer of it.
There you go.
I watch like 2 TV shows. So.
Well, I'm glad of that because a lot of young people, 15, 16 years old, they're immersed in this thing. And man, at being an old comic book hound, I can see it myself. I am going to let Zero take it now.
Like all guys in my grade are talking about video games, and I'm just like over here, like I don't really give a crap.
Yeah, that's good because it's, I mean, when I was growing up, when I was your age, when I was 15, that would have been 1990. We didn't barely have but Nintendo and Sega, and people still went outside more than anything. And people, the best part, one of the best memories I have is sitting around my porch with a boombox, and I had 3 or 4 friends, and we would switch cassette tapes out, and we would run the gamut between heavy metal and actual rap music, and people were looking at us like we were on drugs. And they said, well, why don't you go inside and you got a Nintendo, why don't you go inside and play it? And we just said, fuck that, music is better. What we would prefer to be outside. So nowadays it's more common for a kid to be inside. So if you're not in playing video games, good for you. You're doing yourself a large favor because your contemporaries are basically going to be, mind wipe, numbed little troglodytes, and they ain't going to know what the fuck to do. You're actually out there trying to make some money. That shows having a good work ethic, which is necessary.
Thank you. I definitely like to keep myself busy, and I don't understand how people like do nothing productive all day. If I literally do nothing productive, like in a day, I usually get like, I kind of don't care, but to an extent, I care just a little bit that I like got nothing done. It feels like a day wasted, if that makes sense. And
it drives you a little crazy, doesn't it?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. See, See, when I get done with this, I have to clean my house, and I'm just like, oh, I got to clean my house today. That's on my agenda. You know, it's a Sunday. I clean my house. I'm good to go for the next week. If I don't do it, then come tomorrow, it's kind of like, oh, what the shit? Why didn't I do it yesterday? And then I'll find something to bitch at myself for, but because I wasn't being productive. So it's good to find something to do and be productive. I mean, this is all well and good. We're having a good time here, but we aren't going to do this all day. I mean, I'm not going to do this all day. But, you know, kids, honestly, and I love saying this now that my daughter is going into the Air Force in about a week and a half. Fucking kids these days. Go find something to do and don't slam the damn door.
No shit on the door slamming thing, man.
No shit.
Close that thing gently and like turn the latch if you have to.
Well, see, now we get that we're at the age group that we're at. We understand why our parents said that.
Not because buy the new fucking doors.
Well, I was going to say not because they necessarily had to buy new doors, you know, in the long run, but was because it was being an irritation. It's kind of like, what, do you not know how to open and close the door? Did I not train you how to open and close the door properly? Were you born in a barn? And unless you're somewhere in the Midwest like I am, that may be a very real possibility, but even there, you still don't put the cart before the horse before you close the barn doors and have them open at the same time.
That may be a real possibility. But, I mean, I don't even know. Hey, Prankster. Log. I know I keep calling you Prankster. I may do that. Fun. It's my way. I mean, has your mama ever told you, you know, were you born in a barn, or is that a thing of the past?
Not that I can remember, but I feel like probably at some point. The thing is, you got to like meet us halfway. Some of the doors are really heavy. You got to meet some of us halfway.
I love it.
The heavy doors.
You got to learn to overcome your environment, man.
Isn't that why we do? Now, I don't know about you guys, but some of us around here in the Midwest, we still have the half and half doors.
Oh, yeah.
Either open or close the top and bottom. So, Prankster, are you okay with just using the bottom part of the door and we can leave the top locked? Is that okay?
You know, man, he's
whatever gets the job done.
You don't even know what that kind of door is, do you?
No, Southern boy. And hey, have you ever seen like Merry Melodies or anything like that, like Bugs Bunny and whatnot, Prank?
I've seen Bugs Bunny, but I definitely don't remember the doors.
Oh, well, that was an old thing. And yet where I live too, there's a lot of those split doors. And anyway, that was funny. I guess you probably just don't get it.
He'll look it up later, and then he'll be thinking, "Oh, Jesus Christ, Dave, what the hell were you talking about?" Now I get it, you fucker.
Now,
I've probably seen it, but don't remember it.
Well, and my mom would say shit like this. Let me just put it, instead of the barn, you're born in a barn. My mom would say shit like this, like, "Hey, I'm not paying to heat the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not paying to cool the neighborhood down, depending upon it's summer or winter. You dig it?" And I don't know. I think back to that, and I wonder if, you know, you kids nowadays, if you just run wild, or if any of those old sayings are still holding true, like, you know, get the fuck outside and play. I don't want to see your face here no more.
I feel like that'd be like, if parents said that now, it'd be politically incorrect, and the parents would the kids would freak out and be like, "You're mentally abusing me."
Man,
yeah, that wouldn't fly in my house. My daughter tried to say that once to me, and I said, "You forget who you're talking to," and she goes, "Well, you're stressing me out." I said, "Fine. Do you want me to call your grandma? She'll really stress you out." Okay.
Yeah,
that's
really.
what I thought.
It's stressing you out. I just bought you a brand new pair of freaking pants so you look cool. And by the way, I mean, I just don't. Would you be one of those group, Prank? Would you be one of those group like, "Oh, mom was mean to me"? I don't really see that, but if you were, I mean, that's fine. If you're a SJW.
No, because at the end of the day, it's no one's business besides my own. So.
Fucking right, man. You're a bunch of crybabies nowadays, kid.
And that's why. Sorry.
No, go.
Just talk.
That's why usually I like try to be vague when I say stuff, like online to an extent, because I don't like calling people out specifically, and I don't like giving too much information, because at the end of the day, no one on the internet who I don't even know in real life. They don't need to hold my whole life story, you know?
Yeah,
Sorry,
nobody needs to do that. Well, and I think that's a lot of the problem with today's generation. Is like I did earlier. It's like two of my buddies were having, a little thing, and I was like, oh, let's let everybody see it. I don't know. Maybe I fell into that a little bit myself, boys. But it is like today's generation. Is this statue of Robert E. Lee is hurting my feelings. Forget if Prankster Locke has grown up in the South his whole life, and he's a Southerner, and is really, this is part of his culture. Just call him a freaking racist because he does an okay sign and tear the damn statue down.
Hold on, let me find this message I got a while back. It just made me laugh so hard because someone was trying to insult me so bad. Hold up.
That was so nice, Zero, the hammer.
Well, I figure if we were going to be politically incorrect, I was going to have the hammer pants.
Someone sent me, racist pig, go die in a fire, you white supremacist.
Damn.
Well, you know that the person that's saying that is obviously weak-minded, because what people seem to forget is that the older that you get, if the first volley of fire that you have to make about somebody is calling them a name, you obviously have nothing better. You've got no real ammo to combat them with. So if somebody's going to call you a name and call you a racist pig, one, they don't know jack shit about the real world yet. Two, if that's the best they've got, you ain't going to lose any sleep over it. You've already won the battle.
I'm already losing sleep as it is, so how can it get worse at this point? And also, every time I read that message, I just die laughing. I find it hilarious. I feel like they're trying to insult me and be like, oh, this is a good one. This will really hurt him. But I just die laughing every time I see it.
Yeah, but you're already
losing laughing every time I hear a 15-year-old say, how can it get worse?
Fair enough.
Yeah, but you got to get used to that kid. It's hard. It's got to be hard for Locke in the fact that there's not too many young folks like him. I mean, Stag, I got him on the stream. I know I'm a crazy ogre, but there's a reason I got him here. He's that kid that it's like nobody really knows why he's at the party, and nobody's letting him drink, of course, or not like that. But he's there at the party, and nobody really knows why. Well, it's because he kind of fits in with us. He's a little bit ahead of his time. He really is.
And he's going to be the kid. He's going to be the kid in about 10 years. He's going to be the kid in 10 years that has everything under his belt and a good credit line and his shit together, while the people that were having too much fun at the party are suffering from kidney stones and raising their brat kids when they shouldn't have had them too early, and their livers are failing them, and they're bitching and moaning about the ACA. That's all. Because that's how it turns out. You make fun of the wallflower, and the wallflower is the one in 5 to 10 years doing better than you are, Mr. and Mrs. Popular, and your fucking crotch still is on fire from whatever you did the night before, and he's just laughing his ass off because you're the bigger idiot than you could have ever said he was. So, yeah.
See, I must have done something wrong then, because I was the wallflower, and then I guess if I was on course to be successful, I must have got sick of being a wallflower and switched course to the wrong course at the wrong time, because I was the wallflower, then I was the fuck up.
Well, yeah, because you're quite the social butterfly now, sir.
Oh, well.
Well, I mean, at least in the cyber realm, I love that. It's
the Beetle guy glasses, whoever that one guy was.
The one guy.
Ogre.
Imagine, the Imagine guy, the one that married that Oriental chick with the chink. The guy that married the chink.
Oh, get out. She was Japanese. She was Japanese. George Harrison.
Don't that cover all the slopes, chink? Doesn't that cover all the
No.
The slopes.
God damn. You make me want to cry as a music fan that you do not know the difference.
Well, I mean, what is it? Yellers? What are we calling the Orientals now? Yellers or slopes? What is it? Zipperheads? I
don't know. I call everybody asshole or butt face or something.
I prefer Zipperhead because my uncle was in Vietnam. What?
What do you call Yoko Ono though? Figure out.
Well, I'm saying a chink. She's a chink, right?
Yeah. No, she's Japanese.
Wait, that chink? Since when were Japanese chinks?
Chink is specifically defined as Chinese. Slope is basically any. Don't ask me this stuff then. A slope is basically the format of the eyes, which is why Asians call us round eyes because our eyes, basically the slits are wider, and that's a genetics issue. And basically, Japanese, in derogatory terms, were called Japs or slopes.
If you ask me, they're all chinks. Even a Filipino is a chink. They're all chinks. All them chinks. They're little chinks. They're all chinks.
No one asked you, bald head, round eye. So go fuck yourself.
I know. Hey man, why don't they have phone books in China? Because there's so many Wings and Wongs, somebody might wing the Wong number.
Womp womp womp.
Sorry. No, I am not racist either. I'm Jewish. I can't be racist.
Yeah, you can. You can be the biggest racist of them all. Didn't you know that?
No, man. They said Negroes can't be racist because they're oppressed in small group and whatnot. Who is more oppressed or smaller than daggone Jews? And I don't mean the penis.
Catholics.
Gingers.
Catholics.
Yeah, gingers.
Ginger. There are a billion of them sons of
I changed my answer at the last minute. I phoned a friend and he said gingers.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Is this like a game show now and you're like phoning friends?
No, we're just using whatever pop culture reference comes our way. And we're wondering how much gin and juice Mad Dodge has been drinking since he hasn't said anything for over a half hour.
He said he's probably pissed at me. I didn't.
Do you know that Snoop Dogg stole the name of that song from me?
Oh,
He probably did.
Jay, we were hanging out.
That was funny. You got to give it to him. That was funny. Oh Lord, have mercy.
He says that he stops to just tell me to shut up. That's all.
So we're down to the 20-minute warning, folks.
Oh,
I
he's
did
alive.
send a link to Logical Lion. If you can hear me, check your frickin' DM, Lion. I wouldn't mind having the last word from you if you feel like giving it. And man, I did send out the link to the Rageaholic Razor Fist, but obviously he didn't join us either. What is that? What do you got now, brother? What is that? Ice Cube? Who is that?
What?
I'm looking at Zero Cool. I was wondering who is that? Is that Ice Cube? I mean, Ice. What is that? The white guy? Ice? Who that? What that? I don't know. He just got something going. The last time it was MC Hammer, so I automatically screen shared. Oh, the Britishers seen I'm doing a stream. I'm in trouble now. I'm supposed to be doing a damn video. Oh, I wrote a script for a video, man. A 6-minute long freaking video, and I ended up, I put freaking 6 hours into it. I'm over it, man. I do the stream of consciousness things. Like I get an idea, put it up, and then it's like I just record myself talking shit on it, man. I'm not into the damn script. I got shit to do.
Yeah, the script takes too long, and you got to read it.
Yeah, and then it makes you choppy, right?
Mm-hmm. It makes me feel like I'm reading a script bad. The best thing I can do to do it is just try to overact it, like do a voice and kind of, just William Shatner that sumbitch.
I don't know. I was a telemarketer, unfortunately, for a couple of years, so I could read a script pretty good. I just read it like 3 or 4 times, and then I can go with it.
All right, it's time to spin the wheel of death and to try to make somebody feel self-conscious about their comedy.
I already did it.
So here we go. It's called Black Cats. This is Crank's Black Cats. I mean, and here we go. The thing of it is comedy's comedy, and sometimes you find people that just tickle your funny bone. And I've never gotten a chance to play this from front to back. I think on a stream. So here we go. It's 2 minutes, folks. If you got shit to do, just leave. It'll be
Autistic cancer AIDS warning.
Ah.
I just, I don't really understand how they work.
You don't understand how what works?
The black cats. I thought black cats are smelled at PetSmart, the petty PetSmart.
Well, you just need to. Black Cat's a brand name, and but I don't really think from the way you're talking that you would even need fireworks. But Black Cat's a brand name, so thank you for calling.
What?
That's the brand name of the fireworks.
What do you mean that's the band of the fireworks? I don't understand. I didn't know the fireworks had a band. I have a question.
Okay.
Are they? You're saying they're fireworks, but are I kind of confused? Are they fireworks or are they pets?
They're fireworks.
Because
Black Cat is the name of the fireworks. Black Cat makes the fireworks. It's the brand the brand of fireworks?
So, like,
okay.
It's
all right. Thank you. I don't have any more time for these questions. I don't
but that's your job. That's your job. I'm trying to buy a black cat, and you're giving me a hard time. I don't know.
I don't sell cats, sir. I sell fireworks.
Okay, but like,
and I know what my job is, and thank you for calling.
Okay, but are they black cats or are you?
Thank you for calling Fireworks Supermarket. How may I help you?
Hello, my grandson called about the African American cats, and there was a lady being a little bit rude.
Hello?
Hello, you're hurting my ears.
Can I help you?
Is that my hearing? Is that my hearing aid?
420 Eastern.
We're disconnected like all my hopes and dreams.
Oh man! And he said African American cats. He said, and the funny thing is that the lady on the phone sounded like almost like the voice that he gave at the end there. He like broke back with her own voice back to like I can't even do it, man. Like I don't know. My grandson called about the African American. I'm sorry, I was fucking picking my balls.
Oh, Jesus fucking priest! That was really you doing those voices.
Yeah, surprisingly, sometimes people walk up to me and they're like, "You're not using a voice changer," and I'm like,
"No, I'm not." Surprisingly.
Well, see, that's why I was like, "Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious!" And I ran across that like 3 days ago because it was suggested in my YouTube feed. I watched maybe like 50 seconds, and I'm like, "Oh fuck this," and I left. And you know, now that it's like now that I know who you are, now that I know that you were doing it, it's like I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that and give you a second chance because honestly, I don't like when YouTube tells me what I should watch. I prefer to have the choice to go see something. So thank you for presenting it over. I'm gonna choose to go back and watch that because that was just fucking gold.
Well, here's the thing: if I can plug him just a little bit, I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. If you've got an hour to just to chill back and waste an hour. You could do a lot worse than going to Prankster Locke's channel, man. I mean, the guy is second to none. He's, in my mind, he's right up there with Crank Yankers. And that's why I got him on. I'm not just saying that. I wouldn't even have him on the fucking show. I see a lot of the young kids trying to do funny shit on YouTube. None of them impress me. This kid, he actually, I mean, he's gone out of his way to be funny. That's for sure.
Yeah, that old lady voice is pretty good.
Hey, next time you do the old lady voice, you gotta have me on there in a back camera. Oh, when my wife says to answer a question, answer the goddamn question. She freaking bothered me over dinner. She's trying to make the freaking man. Just answer my wife's question.
For a second, I thought that was Prankster doing that.
I wish. I really do wish.
Hey, Logical Lion, I noticed you're here. I did give the 20-minute warning, but since Logical Lion is here, I will reset the play clock and we'll see what the hell happens. Make sure to stag as long as you feel like sticking around, man. I ain't trying to bust your balls. I kind of need you tomorrow if you're not busy, but you just stay as long as you want, friend, because those glasses are so sexy. I'm going to turn my camera off and fap.
Do it.
Hey, Ogre, can I share a personal anecdote?
Yeah, rock and roll, Lion.
So yesterday, my neighbor came out of his apartment holding a basketball. He is a Asian man, approximately 5'4" tall. And remember, I'm inching towards 6'4". I'm about 6'3" and a couple inches. Okay, so I'm not really inching towards 6'4". I'm only 6'3", but whatever. So I'm quite a bit taller than him. And I said, "Oh, you play basketball?" And he's like, "Yeah, a bunch of us get together." He's Filipino, but there's Chinese and Khmer, and there's all kinds of nationalities around here. So anyway, I was like, I haven't played in like 3 years. I'd love to come play with you guys. Thinking in my mind, my God, I have a foot on you. And he was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, come on over." And so I went over there, and I was looking at these guys, and like I said, they're Filipinos and all Asians. And I'm looking around going, I got 8 inches on every single one of these guys. I went and played basketball with the midget Harlem Globetrotters. These motherfuckers kicked my ass. Dude, a dude that was like 4.5 feet tall stuffed me, sent my shit to the fucking bleachers. I literally had to sub out and be like, I can't deal with this. I'm having a cultural crisis.
You should go to Shitty Walk and you fight the Mongolians because you have a foot over them and they not take you to town like them basketball players.
So you were surprised, to say the least. You were shocked when you got there. I was. These boys were serious.
Yeah, I went and played again today, and I played a lot slower and more serious, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, we have a lot of fun. There's a lot of joking around, but these guys are fucking good. I was shocked.
If you said stuff, that means they have to jump. So I mean, I'm imagining a lot of like, with all due respect, I'm imagining a lot of WNBA, you know, the women's where there's a lot of passing and layups, but these boys they were actually up there like flying through the air like Spud Webb.
Yeah, like the tallest dude that was covering me, he could jump. Well, he was like probably, I don't know, 18, 19. You can never tell how old Asians are because they all look so young. You meet someone, you're like, wow, what are you, 16? She's like, nah, I'm like 47. Like, what the?
Hey, we got a young guy here, man, Prankster Lock, and I don't know. I want to shelter him from all this racist stuff about how young.
Oh, quit being an SJW.
I could care less. You should go down the South. If you think like the racism here is bad, go into the South and go into school. It is ridiculous. I got to be honest. A good bit of South is racist. I'm just going to say straight up.
Race against who? White people?
Everybody.
Against everybody, but mainly against black people, to be honest. Everyone's like, well, to an extent, it's racist. Everyone's like, I don't know. I'll just stop there. I've said too much.
So where are you from?
Tennessee.
The South.
Oh, okay, yeah.
My parents live in Jellicoe, Tennessee, son, and there ain't no racism there. We love our Negroes.
I think it's because everyone's just immature and trying to be edgy, but they're approaching it the wrong way.
No,
That's anywhere you go.
We love our Negroes in Tennessee.
I live in Utah. There aren't any black people here.
Hell no, they're Mormons. They run them out. Don't they think they're the Lamanites or something? They're like evil. They're going to hell.
I was at a gas station and there was like a black person there, and I literally heard some white redneck being like, "What is a black person doing here?" It made me so mad.
You're kidding, man. You're joking us right now. You heard that in public.
I heard it in public.
Man, what? I don't even want to ask you because I ain't trying to dox you, but can I ask you this? Do you live closer to Nashville or closer to Memphis?
Nashville.
Okay. So that's a center state. So do you live closer to Knoxville or Nashville?
I'm trying to think.
He lives in Tennessee. That's all we need.
All right, yeah, no, I'm done because it does feel like I'm trying to doctor some shit. Forget about it. So I'm just thinking,
bigger than a bread box?
I've never seen that, man. I mean, I really haven't, and maybe it's just because
it's the deep South as well.
Really, I mean, I've lived in North Carolina. I've lived in Pinehurst, North Carolina. I don't think it gets much deeper south than that. Florida. I lived in Jellicoe, Tennessee, and lived in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I just haven't seen it, but that's not to say that you didn't. So I mean, you went in there. Do you think the dude was really being racist, or was he trying to crack a joke, or he was serious?
He was being racist. He was dead serious and mad. I'll just say it's like near Chattanooga, so if that helps.
Damn, fucking Donald Trump's ruining the country.
Wasn't there a country western song about Chattanooga?
Way down yonder on the Chattanooga.
Yeah, there you
go.
That's Chattahoochee, the Chattahoochee.
Chattahoochee, yeah.
You're thinking about the Chattanooga choo-choo. Pardon
you know, you get a nooga, you get a hoochie, you know, you chattas.
I just got to say this, man, to anybody that's racist. Probably because I'm Jewish is why I didn't see it. I'm not even kidding. And most people knew that my family was Jewish, so maybe they didn't want to say nigger because they didn't want to say kike. And they didn't want to say, oh, look, what's this blackie doing here? Because they didn't want to say, oh, what's this Jew doing here? I don't know. But I've never really witnessed serious racism. Apparently it still exists, man. We should all be Antifa.
Punch me first because I'm bald, like deliberately bald. So clearly I'm racist.
I'm going to punch Bono first because he stole your look. The fucking copycat.
You know what? Let him do his thing. Let Bono do his thing. You know, he wants to go to Africa and have the Red Eye Charity. It's fine.
I should have never mentioned that shit. I'll never live this one down. I never will.
No, you won't, and I'll make sure of it.
I just wanted my friends to get along, man. That's all I wanted.
Oh, we all get along, and then we all get along, and then you get in the mix, and then you want us to all get along, and then we don't get along because you want us to get along. See how that works?
No,
you try to tell us to do something, and we don't want to do it.
As much as I like Mad Dodge, what I honest to God want, you know it. I know you're busting my balls, but I just wanted a chance to be said. I will say this, Stag. As much different as we are, I do believe this. The idea of you, and I know it from the thing that we talked about that we're not going to go into detail with who thought of what with you and I, because it was like, but the idea for you of stealing someone's idea, I don't think you would do that any more than you'd steal an old lady's purse unless she was looking.
Well, Ogre, if I really had a problem with Stags, I'm in his Discord, and I'm actually can go into the private chat. I would.
Y'all got me. Y'all baited me. I see what it is.
Like, yeah, that's right.
It was a con. Yeah.
Like, I would have went directly to him. I was just like, I said that Stags was on a stream. You must have misinterpreted that. Because it wasn't his.
Yeah, I did. I misheard it. I thought because I went and looked, and I thought I honestly thought you lost your mind. So I went and looked at Stag's stream of consciousness because I'm subbed to both of his things. I was like, I'm looking for one that says that. Look, can we drop this shit?
We had it dropped. I've been quiet.
Had it dropped, and you brought it up.
Zero, don't give me that shit. Cracker,
drop it like a thought.
But
you
got a new guy.
Homosexual son of a bitch.
I never seen this kid's channel, so I was just listening to you guys talk and trying to figure out if I'm going to like this kid's channel. That's why I was quiet.
Yeah, no, check it out. Yeah,
you're going to hate my channel. Ignore Ogre. You're going to completely hate it, bro. Ogre's spreading fake news.
I've only seen 50 seconds of a video, and I already know I hate it. But I'm still going to give it a second chance.
You're going to regret it. You're going to be like, hey, that's time in my life I'll never get back.
Oh, jeez. Every time an election comes around, it's time in our lives we don't get back. We still suffer through that shit.
No, Prankster Log actually gets some Indian guy to admit that he's drunk while he's doing his job. I'm not saying the guy is drunk, but he does get him to say that he is. And that was one of my favorite moments.
Hey,
do you write scripts, kid?
I don't write scripts, but occasionally I can like slip in a scene in a prank call to make it more funny. But like the prank calls are real, but occasionally I'll slip in something in the prank call. So that's the closest thing I've done to faking it. So,
do you have? Well, I wouldn't say a script would be faking it. What I mean is like note cards, like you've got like bullet points that you want to hit on, comedic bullet points on the call. Like you're trying to get the caller to go to a certain point. You know, say like, we don't sell Uranus. You know, shit like that.
Yeah. I usually try to plan a little bit of something depending on what it is, or sometimes I just wing it. It just depends on my mood.
Yeah, you really have to be able to roll with your interlocutor, though, when you're doing a prank call. You have to be able to riff off them. I used to do a lot of prank calls when I was a kid.
Well, I have a serious question.
The crazy thing is you can never know what to expect is the thing. So,
like,
and you don't feel bad about wasting those people's time?
Depending on who it is, but usually if the people have a good sense of humor, they'll laugh at it. And instead of like prank calling normal people lately, I've been messing with scams. Because scam people like deserve it out of all people, or should I say scammers. And lately I've also been taking requests from like my friends. So usually if the people have a good sense of humor, they'll laugh at it. So it just kind of depends.
But I do have a question. My son's 12 and he wants to do a YouTube channel. I haven't been letting him. You're only 15. You think I should probably let him, huh?
I'm not going to say that because honestly, it depends on his maturity, first of all. And another thing is the YouTube comments can be like really harsh. I'm just going to be straight up. Like he's got to be aware that there's going to be some really harsh people out there who are going to like try to harass him and stuff. So he's got to be aware of that. If he's like mentally able to like handle a little bit of hate, then I guess so. And if he's mature enough.
Yeah. No, I was just wondering from your perspective, since you're only 3 years older than him, I'm probably still not going to let him do it. But I was just wondering what your opinion was.
Well, he said the profound thing is he's got to be able to take some hate, man. Yeah.
Do the comments bother you?
Oh, the comments would probably bother him. He's really...
Not you, stank ass.
The comments don't really bother me. When I first started, it definitely bothered me. But now I just realized it's just like probably some fat 80-year-old guy on a keyboard wasting his time on a little kid. Then also, the thing is with the comments, every time someone comments, they're actually helping me with my video get higher in the search system. So I'm not complaining.
So you have to expect shitty comments. It's YouTube. I don't know if you've ever spent any time on YouTube before you started making your channel, but I did. You know, for like a year, I was watching YouTube videos and commenting and reading comments and watching live chats on shows like The Drunken Peasants and stuff. It was a long time before I even knew there were streams like this where you could actually chat in the chat room and it wasn't just cancer flying by at the speed of light. But I just came into it expecting shitty comments. Like whenever I see I've got a new comment, I'm like, oh, good, here we go. And I laugh at them, you know what I mean? They call me idiot. But then when I get a good comment from somebody I don't know, it's like...
Makes up for it. I mean?
I wish I got hater comments. All I ever get are fucking yes men. Come on, motherfuckers.
It's part of the
Homie.
game. I've been getting more like supporters for the most part lately. The hate comments have died down, but I'm willing to bet being on this podcast, since it's controversial, it might go up again. Because like some people can't handle different opinions. So
What? Controversial?
That's controversial.
how can you not think this is a controversial podcast?
This right here?
Nigga, please.
Sometimes
Are you
it is.
serious?
For
Oh,
like,
I
usually
thought you meant like
from
this
liberals.
specific show. Like,
I'm not saying
that
this
we're on right now.
specific show, but like the podcast in general. Sometimes it can be controversial. But hey,
what
I like it. I
podcast
agree
are we
with
on?
what he says though.
What I get roped into here?
Because there's so many social justice warriors, and they just like get butthurt over everything, you know. But, like I don't.
Yeah,
really
does that
do it.
concern you? Being a younger YouTuber who's doing something that may raise some eyebrows. Are you concerned with the backlash in terms of your channel suffering?
I believe as long as I don't like do anything extremely stupid, I shouldn't suffer too bad. And if I do something that's extremely stupid and I get a bunch of backlash, that's my own fault, depending on what it is. So.
Now, just
Did
as
you
long
think
as you
you-
have everything saved on an external hard drive, you ain't gonna have any problems.
I
Did not
have
mean-
a passport. I have all my videos saved on a passport.
Because that's one of the things that I made like 5 or 6 videos, and I just realized I'm not cut out for it on a certain level. But I saved everything on backup because I knew YouTube would start pulling the shit that they've pulled. And if you ever go through some of Vulgar's older stuff, I really rip on people. And if they want to come after me, tell them to come to my fucking front door and we'll solve this. But I'm also a 40-plus-year-old man that can defend himself, and I'm not saying that you can't, but you are technically a minor, and they're not going to care. And they're going to get offended either way. And they're going to try to shame you and do all this other shit. So if YouTube wants to pull this crap to where, oh, well, somebody who is butthurt over something, this 15-year-old kid, he hurt my feelings, take his video down. And YouTube's like, okay, well, or, blah, blah, blah. They're going to take your videos down. Make sure you have, all I'm saying is just have the capability of, loading it back up. Because you don't want your time and effort wasted because somebody doesn't have a fucking sense of humor. That's all there is to it.
Actually, as I've said, I have like a passport. It's like a big passport. I have all my videos saved on there. I don't know if I have my recent videos on there. So if someone wants to attack me, attack my recent videos because I don't know if I have it on a passport.
I say we hunt down his current videos and start attacking him just to make sure he does or does not have them on his passport.
No, this kid's got balls. I like him.
You would, pedo.
Oh!
When a kid's got balls, I love him.
What was that? Was Logical Lion saying something?
Fuck, he just kicked you in the nuts and he left.
What happened? No, I kicked him
must
out.
have
You can't call me a pedo even joking, or I'll kick you out.
Oh.
I kicked him out.
Ouch.
He definitely had that
Actually,
one coming.
I think that joke was actually sorry, Logical Line. I think your joke was ill-timed because what Ogre said was, "This kid has balls. I like his style," or something along.
Yeah,
those
it was
lines.
very ill-timed. You cannot call me a pedophile.
Yeah, it was.
That happened with the Armored Skeptic. I made a thing, and he's automatically called me a pedophile. If somebody does that, as a 43-year-old man, I can't even abide that.
And I thought I honestly did go, oh, at his joke.
Come back another day and tell me to go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I did go, oh, at his joke because it was harsh, but I didn't even go that route when you said it. I knew that you said it as a level of, at a level of admiration for what pranksters do.
Well, and in our country, people
And that's
have
what
to
it is.
register to be pedophiles. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
a pedophile, that is like the worst. So when I just assume that that's the most worst, terrible ad hominem thing anybody could say. So not only to me, but if I've never said that to anybody, even in jest. But if anybody was to say that to anyone else, there's no warning. You go to so let's just act like nothing happened. And besides that, look, I'm finna get out of here, folks. Because I know one thing, I think that Stag is being cool right now. I can't believe he's still here. I think he's got shit to do. I got stuff to do, but that is the rule on this. I think it's been the rule, but it's just like ignorance of the law is no excuse. If you call somebody a pedophile on this channel, just or not. It would be like crying rape. You're immediately kicked out.
I feel like
we'll talk about the joke later.
Dude, that's like I'll tell you something that happened to me kind of recently with a friend of mine, a pretty good friend on here. I put up new pictures because I cut my hair and stuff like that. And he was just joking around, having a good time, and joking around in my Discord about my picture and how it made him uncomfortable, and how he said I looked like a pedo, and somebody else was kind of like, I don't think so, or whatever. And he kept like kind of stressing the joke or whatever that day. And I just popped into my Discord to see what was going on, and I just started reading that, and it really kind of hurt my feelings. Like, I'm not mad at the dude. I know he was just joking. We're still friends. I didn't kick him out of there or anything like that, but I let him know that it hurt my feelings, and I even took my picture down because I felt like super self-conscious about it all of a sudden. And I'm not somebody that can't take jokes, you know what I mean? But I was in a bit of an ill mood, and when I popped in there looking to see what my friends were doing, getting insulted on one of the like worst spots to insult somebody, you know what I mean?
So you took pictures of you basically giving yourself a trim all the way down to your head, and they made the commentary that you look like a pedophile.
Well, I just took a picture of my face the way it is. I mean, like, I think I had my regular glasses on.
I don't ever even, honestly, I don't know how somebody can come to that conclusion. That's why I was calling you Bono and making fun of you. That's what you remind me of, is Bono. On a serious note, the topic that we're currently on and we're trying to get rid of, that is something that's serious, especially when we live in a country that allows an organization like NAMBLA to still exist instead of being wiped off the face of the earth. And it really, to me, and I'm not referring to any jokes here, people just overanalyze. Sometimes they overanalyze stuff, and if your brain really goes there on a certain level, I mean, I really just don't know what to say, because when like you, Stag, you cut your hair, you went down, I called you Bono because I was just spoofing your look and your glasses, which, yeah, you got my sense of humor, but nowhere remotely did I ever think that you looked like you were a sex offender. So I don't know what the fuck's wrong with people, especially in this day and age where everybody does get butthurt about things, and things can, and if it's in a text format where there is no inflection of tone and meaning on a genuine level, to where, where people go, how do people get to that? I just couldn't fucking tell you. I just don't get it, but whatever. That's just me.
Yeah. And I am blowing the 20-minute warning. So everybody here knows how I like to end the show. I really would like to end this show the same way today as we wrap it up. We got about another 5 minutes before I'm going to do this. But what I would like to do is go Prankster Lock, Mad Dodge Production, Staggerson, and then the reason it's going this way is because Zero Cool, this is his idea today, and then myself. And what we'll do is we'll each have unlimited time, but good luck talking for an hour without anybody helping you, to just express our feelings of the day. Whether it's something we talked about today, someone may say that Ogre got butthurt over a inappropriate joke. Who knows what it will be? But somebody could say anything that they want to. It could tie into what we did today, could not. I really would, before we go into this last little shit fest, I really would like to thank you, Zero Cool. You are Zero Cool, man. You're one of the coolest cats that I've met here on this format. You have some of the greatest ideas. I don't always agree with even the great ideas you have, but it's like you said today. If I don't allow you to have your own ideas and listen to them, well, then how on God's earth would I ever advance as a human being? How would I ever be able to expand my way of thought? Oh, was that too abrupt? That was my way of just ending what I was going to say. And then we'll go into that. So hang in here, boys, because whenever we're ready, I'm about ready now. And I don't feel bad, but it's so weird. Look, I'm not going to go into it, but everybody has their thing. Everybody just experienced mine. I've got one where I did move, bitch. Get out the way, bitch. Get out the way and move. I did that for Armored Skeptic because I told him I would debate him on anything. He could pick the topic, and his response was, well, I will say you shouldn't be a child molester, and you defend the other side. I don't like the Armored Skeptic any more or less than I did before because he's always been irrelevant to me. But when he said that, it was like, huh, Anybody that would go to and Logical Lion, oh man, I know he's not going to lose any sleep or care, but I'm not saying anything necessarily bad about Logical Lion. But that is the shutdown point for me. That is where my inner SJW kicks in. And let's just say, for example, as it looks like somebody's ready to talk. If somebody said that to Stag, if we were on and somebody was like, "Oh, Stag, but you're just what, man?" I won't even waste no time. As long as it takes my cursor to go find their face, I just kick them out, because I'm not going to stand here and have that, because Staggerson is a 30-something man. And even as a joke, you never, ever want that joke to be placed upon you. I covered a lot of the Pizzagate things, boys. I mean, that's abhorrent to me. Anyway, so good to have y'all here today.
There's definitely a difference between having like a satire joke and being a douchebag. I'm not calling Logical Lion a douchebag, but what he did was kind of like a douchebag move, in my opinion.
Oh, yep, and I appreciate that. And y'all can say your opinions, but there's definitely not to be anything on Logical Lion. I know the guy. He's a lot like me. So what I'm saying, let me put it this way. I could very easily put myself in the position that he was in, because we are a lot alike. And I have been known to spout off before I really thought about it. And I don't think he was being malicious, all right?
We like to try to look for the line, you know what I mean? We like to try to look for the line, and sometimes we accidentally find it.
And with live streams, it's easier to mess up and like say something that like you can't edit out. It's there publicly, and that's just the flaws with being a live stream. Like at first, I honestly laughed at it, but once I thought about it more, I was like, I don't know if I should be laughing at that. But like as I said, with live streams, it's harder to watch yourself.
You should laugh at anything that's funny, kid, but you said something very, I mean, I don't want to take this whole thing down, and I don't want to take it down and edit out one, but it's like you said, you can't, I mean, once it's there, this whole live stream is there. And it's more to protect Lion than me. And so that's it. So we just wasted our last little bit of time, and this is it, folks. So what I would really like to do is, look, come on, Mad Dodge. Why don't you start us out so this kid ain't got to have the one to go first? And we'll go Mad Dodge, Prankster, Stag, Zero, and then I'll wrap it up. We all got as much time as we want. Hit it, Mad Dodge Production.
Well, I guess to wrap it all up, first off, I have no beef with Stags. All right, so that whole beef is non-existent. Second, I think I still think people should pivot. Like the comic book industry should pivot to more graphic novels, more real story-driven material, and not just the Superman eat your Wheaties type crap. And to wrap it up from that, I guess go Dodgers. It's a historic season in the making. And follow Mad Dodge Productions. Thank you.
First of all, thanks for having me on with the stream. And I love being on the stream. Not only is it fun talking to like someone with a different perspective and older, I can learn from someone who's much older and like willing to speak to a little kid. Most people who like speak to a younger person, they kind of look down on them, don't really like listen to what they have to say. So I'm going to give y'all like props for actually listening to what I got to say. And as I said, thanks for having me on. And my channel's Prankster Lock if you want to check it out.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'll just throw in a little bit. I mean, be careful how I word this so I don't steal any thunder from Ogre at the end of the show. But I think it's important that if you're, well, I've learned this lesson time and time again, and just recently I've learned it again. You got to have thick skin, especially if you're on the internet, and especially when it deals with people that are your friends. Even if they say something or do something that you find completely reprehensible, you got to try to. 9 times out of 10, they weren't really trying to fuck you over. You know what I mean? So it's important that you let it go. You know what I mean? Don't dwell on stuff. If you lose friends every time somebody that upsets you, pretty soon you're not going to have any friends left. So it's important to try to come together and talk to each other and just forgive and maybe not forget, but before you get mad and decide you don't want to be somebody's friend anymore.
Good point, brother. Good point. Sorry, I shouldn't have said anything. Yeah, we know whose turn it is now.
Yeah.
Well, to round it all back to what the original intent of this live stream was. It's about choice, people. I think Mad Dodge and I are probably always going to agree to disagree about the Superman eat your Wheaties things, because I think that kids need to have those kind of books. I think where we do agree is that that the entertainment industry on a whole does not need to be geared towards that specifically, and that's a lot of what it's doing. And that one of the tantamount moments in our current media industry is that the people that are putting out the material they're putting out are basically kids that don't have a freaking clue what they're doing. Their britches, they're too big for their britches, so to speak, and they are alienating their core older audiences, which is something you should never do. As for the whole issue with Logical Lion, yeah, I busted up because they actually said it. It was in poor taste, yes. Not necessarily a cheap shot, but yeah, you know, that's one of those things that I've seen more people get pissed off about having said to them than anything on the planet. And this is the kind of, you know, we can joke here, and we do. We know when we butterfinger something, but out there in the real world, the non-internet world, there are people with the mentality that they will say that and things like that nature, and they will use that as a weapon against you, and then you have to make the choice how to react to that. And it is a certain level of maturity, and we all have our teenage moments in our lives, but ultimately the choice is yours. Make your choice to do what you want with your life and how you do it, and accept the responsibilities, rewards, and consequences that come with those choices. I would like to say as a final thing, I hope that people, if they see this live stream, take away from everything else, you know, just take, if nothing else, take away that you still have the choice. It's A, B, or C, and you can sometimes find choice D, which may work out for you. That's all there is.
Damn well said, Zero. And before I go into my diatribe, which I hope to keep as succinct and short as Zero's just was, I'm going to just thank you so much, Zero. Everybody knows that I don't usually do streams on the weekend. When you see me doing a stream on the weekend, it's because someone I respect and someone I like wants to use this puny little platform to say something. And sometimes they don't say it that way. Zero, of course, I want to make it very clear. He's far too Zero cool to be like, oh, your channel. And no, he's not going to put it that way. It's not in his nature. And I don't even think that he probably thinks that way. But this today, it just happens that it was Zero cool. And right when I needed a break, as soon as I'm done here, I'm going to get up, take a stretch, eat my tea, and then I'm going to go back to the Yvette Farka and Falarka, whatever, Malarkey. We all know who she is. And I'm going to do a good solid video on this, because it's been pointed out to me by a couple of my co-hosts that when I look at their channel and I look at mine, I ain't doing shit but live streaming. It's not like I'm putting up content. And as much as I enjoy live streaming, and there is a little bit of element of work into it, not really. I'm sitting here hanging out with fucking Prankster Lock, man. I mean, how cool can that be? I'm sitting here with Staggy Jags and fucking Mad Dodge Productions, Zero cool. It's not really work. It's more like I get to hang out with some badass people from around the world and around the country. So that said, listen, first, let me start this way by saying, of course, no ill feelings for Logical Lion. Anybody that sees this now, anybody that sees it in the future, no way. I mean, God's sake. What I do is some of the, I mean, we just had Sargon on Britishers channel, and I got some really constructive criticism by some maybe trolls, maybe not. I copied and pasted those to like poisoning the well, and I mean, those are my, I don't really care much about the, oh, you're so cool, Ogre, and your beard's so, you know, awesome. You know what? Anybody can say that. I like it when somebody is over the top in their criticism. But that said, there's nothing, I mean, Logical Lion, he just did what I think the French term is a faux pas. And he had no way of knowing. So I don't want to belabor that. I love Logical Lion. He is one of my favorites. He was just showing on Twitter who like retweets him the most. And I think I was second only to Big Red Clinton Cox. So here we go. Here's my actual diatribe, folks. Here's my actual ender. Nothing to do with any of this stuff we've been talking about today. Because in the end, I think Prankster Lock put it best. How important are video games? This is coming from a fucking 15-year-old redneck. How important? What classification should video games and movies and comic books have? Well, if you're like myself and Zero Cool, we've made it part of our lives. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing either. But what's been on my mind since he said it is this young man saying, no, you know what? There's more important things out there. Now, I don't expect a response from you right now, young man, but I tell you what, when I think in the future, I imagine Senator Lockhart. You know what I mean? I imagine President Lockhart, you know, and I imagine this Nathaniel Lockhart. That even sounds like a president. And I imagine this wise young man that has come up in this new generation that has a working brain and is not willing to let other people bring him down in any way. And yeah, there's still young people out there in the world that do what they do and lose sleep, but still go to school and get decent grades and have a life. And that, to me, more than anything else that I've found today, has made an impact on me. And again, I don't want any response from you right now, Log, but I'll tell you this, and I'm not trying to make you feel weird, kid, but I've got to say it. When it comes down to it, the only thing us old dudes want from the younger generation is for them to make a decision and stand for that stance no matter what. To stand up for what they believe in, to not be bullied down or let feels, oh, my feelings, sticks and stones may break my bones, but sometimes words can hurt me. Fuck that. Fuck you, Canada. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I think it was displayed here tonight very well with two gentlemen, and yeah, I brung them on, whatever. You can look at it as I want to drama, or however you want. I don't really care. Did you see how the gentleman took it? Hey, I brung them together. Yeah, whatever. It's no big deal. That's how men work problems out. We don't need to be feminized. We don't need to have our manliness taken from us. We definitely don't need our satire and our comedy robbed from us. We don't need people, and it's fine. If you think Prankster Locke ain't funny, fine. Telling me ain't funny. Telling me stupid and is fine. But what we do need is these new satirists to come around and to show us that, yeah, we can make fun of Indians, and not the dot Indians, not the feather Indians, the dot Indians. We can make fun of not the feather, the dot Indians, you know, trying to rob us. We can expose them in a funny way. We can be serious and still have a sense of humor. And until we meet again, people, look out on Monday, man. We're going to have Weeboo Jones. What did I say that right? Weeboo Jones? Weeboo Jones, really good looking young girl, also very intelligent, like robotics and stuff. She's in school. Check out her channel. There will be a link to everyone that you see represented here in the low bar. Once I get around to it, there will also be the Weeboo Jones. But check us out, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Noon on the left coast, and what is it? I'm trying to do math, so I can't even say left coast. Noon on the left coast and 8 o'clock Greenwich Mean Time. So come on and join us. We're gonna have a good time. The British will be here. Pray God that Staggerson Jags will be here, because if he's not, there will be nothing fucking funny to be had. Be good to your friends. Be good to your family members. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, Staggerson Jags, or Mad Dodge Production has done to you seems to be so huge you'll never be able to forget about it. Because, constant viewer, panel, at a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and your very cause, I will depart from you. See you next time, Sydney Rough Diamond, you motherfucker.